Yo, yo. What is good, everyone? First up, boom. We're here. One Piece, 1165. It's a pretty big day. It's a pretty big day for One Piece here because two things. One, this has got to be the fight that we've been waiting for 5 years, maybe? 5 at this point? It's been a long time. I have been heavily anticipating this fight. First off, the camera is like too high now. That seems better. I've been anticipating this fight for quite a while. Since catching up to the series in Wano, I've been anticipating this fight. It's crazy, you know? Setting up the idea that Garp and Roger need to work together to fight this dude. That alone, what's gonna happen? Pure mystery, intrigue. Like, you're telling me the big good of Garp and the big good of Roger had to work together to fight this guy, but at this point, Rox is kind of he's not good, but he is. And that's what makes this really compelling. Especially with the way that Rox is telepathically communicating with Roger and Garp. That to me is really compelling. Is that something with the Will of D? Is that something with hockey in general? Because we've seen it with characters like Zunisha. It's really interesting. Also the Neptunians when traveling to Fishman Island. There's just a lot of really interesting possibilities with this stuff. So I am so excited. Really excited. And I don't know. My expectations for this chapter I feel like are pretty cut and dry. Like, we're going to see the fight. If we don't, I don't know what Oda's thinking. I have no idea. But I just feel like we have to see it. And if we do see the fight, I think it's only going to be for this chapter. Unless Oda's just an absolute madman and decides we're going to make this 2 chapters. We're going to really make this feel super impactful. But I think this will be a 1 chapter, just all out smash of, you know, just a really great fight. And that's really it. I don't know. That's kind of my expectations at the moment. We're just going to get a really good fight this chapter. I'm very excited. I'm not really a huge fight guy when it comes to One Piece stuff. I think if you've seen my channel, my thought process on the series enough, you know this to be the case. But I'm just really excited. I'm really excited for what's to come. Because stuff like this is like, these are the fights I really want to see. Like, this feels like almost mythical in status, you know? It's like we've heard about for so long, and now that we're getting the complexities of all this really ironed out, like, oh, Rox is taken over by Emu, and Rox actually doesn't want to fight them at all. Like, this is crazy. Our first impression of Rox is completely different than anything in the actual reality of the character, and it's really interesting to see. So this fight I think is going to be overall painful and sad, but really hype at the same time, which is, you know, we get the satisfaction of, okay, the hype, you know, all that, but I don't know, I feel like it's going to be mostly sad. Him thinking about Blackbeard, him thinking about his wife, like, oh, are they okay? Him begging Roger and Garp to kill him. Like, this is going to be crazy. And he will die. He will die. So, overall, I'm excited. I don't really fully know what's going to happen, but I think that's part of the fun. And before we get into it, those are my predictions, but I just want to say, if you are watching this as a VOD or watching live at the moment, please consider liking the stream. That helps a lot when it comes to getting these out in the algorithm. It would be greatly appreciated. So with that, let's get into the chapter, which I have right here, called Reverberations. Also, when I looked it up on Viz, it didn't say new chapter in 7 days, so I'm assuming there is a break next week, which to me kind of highlights that I think this will be like just one and done. The fight's this, and then we're cutting away. Maybe back to Herald, maybe to another place on God Valley, or Loki. Could be Loki as well. So this title of this chapter is really interesting to me. Reverberations, because obviously reverberations to me also makes me think about legacy and, you know, inherited will, kind of like how last chapter we were talking about how Blackbeard as a little baby is very similar to Luffy in Marineford, being carried and being like they have to continue the legacy of this like very important guy. Very, very similar. And reverberations could also be like echoes, like how things echo throughout time. I don't know. That's where I'm thinking this is meant to be going. So maybe it will be something more literal than that, but that's my immediate impression of what this chapter is going to be themed on, which I think makes perfect sense for these kinds of characters, especially because it's a very important moment in the past too. We have this awesome cover with Law and Beppo. Haven't seen them in a minute. With Zeus and also that mink sheep dude. I don't remember their name, but the mink sheep dude, I think they were like some kind of priest in Zoe. I don't know if it was literally a priest, but some kind of thing like that. We got this beautiful like cloudy background with a rainbow and sleepy birds, which is Beppo sleeping peacefully using Zeus as a pillow. That is adorable. That is adorable. But now that we have this absolutely precious panel here, it's time to get depressed. It's time to be sad. So I am ready for this. Chapter 1165, which, hold on. I need to check something. I need to check something. I need to check something. I need to see this right now. If this is what I think it is, it might be, it's either volume 96 or 95, so I'm just going to pull them both out. Because 965, that title, okay, no. I was thinking of 956. I was. 956, 957. That was what I was thinking of. Because that is when, like, all this stuff really started getting revealed. 957 was when it talked about Rox's crew. If this happened on chapter 1157, that would have been cool. That would have been cool. But it is what it is. We'll leave that back there in case we need to see it for later. Alright. Let's move. Chapter 1165, Reverberations. We're going to do single page as well. I feel like there will be a lot of double pages if we... Whoop, okay. We'll do a lot of... I'm assuming it's a lot of double pages. If this is a fight chapter with these three, probably going to be multiple double page spreads. But I have to do the single. I can't just immediately lose my mind each time. So, we move. We move. Please. You hear that too? Yeah. Just kill me. So we're immediately going after the last panel. Oh, this is so interesting. Rox is like this demonic, hateful smile. But he has tears just streaming down his eye. Really, really cool panel here. Rox looks so cool. I love the demon wing cape so much. He looks great. He looks great. Just kill me. His words, his attitude, and his expression. Oh, this is interesting. Rox's sword is very interesting. It had, you know, I'm not gonna try and do this every single time, but his hockey looks almost ink-like, you know, and of course I'm saying that. His words, his attitude, and his expression They're all telling different stories. Wow, this is awesome. What an awesome panel right here. And this is just page 2. Wow. Wow. I am so impressed. Alright. So Rox and Roger are obviously clashing their swords. That was obviously gonna happen. And then we have Garp jumping up. Probably do like punch him in the face or something. Yep, which he does. Yep. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, that's his hair. That's Rox's hair. But it almost looks like a clash of hockey for some reason. But no, that's fun. This panel, actually, of Rox's face being, like, punched in, it kind of reminds me of Kaido. It definitely helps with the fangs and the beard. And the cape, you know, but that's interesting. Oh, this is definitely a double page spread. This is oh, it's not. Okay. So, oh, what? Okay, so Rox is like burying his feet, you know, like managing to hold back Garp's punch. And he's confused. And in the meantime, Rox blows back both Roger and Garp. This is okay. Oh. Now, how are they going to win, though? They probably have to do a combined attack if that's how they're going to win. Or Rox could just damage himself in some way. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Okay. So he got blown back. Both. Oh, this is an amazing panel set up here of both of them being pushed to the sides of God Valley. That's sick. That is sick. Oh, the sky definitely split here because we see God Valley up here on the mountaintops. We see clouds pushing that way. Is this maybe the first time they've ever seen the sky split in like modern history? That would be so interesting. That would be so interesting. Oh, no way. It might actually be. Why does the sky look like that? It's split in half. We've got to evacuate before we're all dead. Wow, oh, this is so cool. I kind of hope it is. I kind of hope it is that. I think that would be so fun if this thing we're so familiar with at this point, the sky splitting with like strong characters, like it first was seen here in like modern times. Like I would easily imagine Joy Boy and Emu also did that. Maybe, I don't know. I think that's a possibility. We've got to evacuate before we're all dead. Alright, so we're back to Silver Axe. Let's steal the ship and get off this island. What? You mean Rox's ship? You really think he's coming back? Shiki looks absolutely elated. This is the end of the Rox pirates. Hurry to the shore. I guess those are like some of his, not his followers, but, what's it called? Like how Whitebeard had the subordinate crews. Probably like that. What did you say, Vice Admiral Garp? Once you've got every living resident and sailor on board, shove off and get out of here. What's happening on the island, Roger? Once Rayleigh and them get to the coast. Once Rayleigh and them get to you, wait off the coast. Okay, so we got some super swole dude. And we also have that, guy with the spear. The guy with the spear, I remember being like a talked about Roger pirate person for a while. They're from like Skypiea, I think. That's cool. I love I will be back, both of them. I love this duality with them. It's so hype. Like seeing them get launched away and the sky splitting, seeing them both talking to their subordinates, I guess. I will be back. Rox, Roger, I came here intending to arrest you both, but... yeah, and my plan was to steal Shaki and the treasure and hightail it out of here. Instead, shall we team up for a minute? I have a number of issues with this. but I can't afford to let him run free. This is so insane. This panel of rocks, too, with this heavy shading, is so good. So good. Wow. Wow. I have a number of issues with this. And they're both bleeding out of, like, look at this. It's like Roger's bleeding out of, like, the left side of his face, and Garp is bleeding out the right side. Like, that's so cool. That is so cool. Oh, man. Alright. Oh, this is going to be pure hands now. It's got to be pure hands. Hey, Rocks. Oh, and they're doing, like, some crazy weaving, because he's obviously not, like, fully, you know, he's not fully there. He's being puppeted by Emu. That's awesome. Hey, Rocks. Oh, this is so hype. What? Okay, so Garp. Okay, so, oh, this is so sick. Okay, so Garp jumps over Rocks. Rocks gets his sword stuck in the side of God Valley. And then Roger does this sword slash that, like, shoots out a projectile into Rocks. And Rocks gets sent into the side of the mountain. Oh, but his sword gets released. That look you've got. The curse. Oh, the curse. Does he know? Does he know? Does he know? That look you've got. The curse. Is there any way to break it? So he knows it's like some kind of curse. That's interesting. That's interesting. That Garp is already, like, pretty on the ball with it. Oh. And so he's, like, grabbing him and slamming him into another wall. That's probably part of the mountain that fell. Just wake up. Alright, so we're cutting back to Rayleigh. Faster. Roger's going to keep fighting until we've evacuated the island. That hockey's off the charts. Who's saying that, though? Is that Shocky? I guess that's Shocky. That's interesting. Got a spot for me on the ship, I assume? Gloriosa. That's cool. It's nice to see her again. Big Mom. Hey, Kaido. Oh, hype, 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 hype. Oh, this is going to be what... Oh. This is going to be what set up everything. Oh, this is so cool. This is going to be what set it all up. Listen up, Kaido. You owe me for the rest of your life. You're going to make good on that. Fat chance. It was finders keepers, Lin, and you lost. Just watch me. I'm going to create a new crew where violence rules all. You think you're hot stuff now? Keep dreaming of the day you'll beat me. It'll never come. Come on, Lin. Ugh, I hate Strusen. Come on, Lin. Let's get moving. Carry this treasure. I'll come and collect one day. And I'll be waiting to crush your spirit. That's so cool. Also, Big Mom's nose here looks a lot like Robin. Weird detail. I don't know why I fixated on that, but it was like, okay. But that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm really happy. Like, obviously God Valley was going to be about Rocks and Roger and Garp. These are obviously the main people that this arc was going to be about, obviously. But having this moment here with Big Mom and Kaido, the two that set up this entire Rocks thing, you know, obviously, like, that is so sick. And seeing this little moment, the you still owe me moment pan out, perfect. And I think a lot of people didn't expect it to be Kaido being so, like, slimy. So that was really cool as well. Okay, so Rocks is still beating the absolute crap out of... Alright, we're still good. Alright, Rocks is beating the absolute crap out of Roger and Garp still. Perfect. Whitebeard. You're the one who knocked down that mountain, aren't you, Newgate? Who are you? Looks like your crew's falling apart. No way! No way! Okay, so he is... That's definitely Marco's dad. The fact they even fixated on this character at all, that's Marco's dad. Alright, what's the name? The name's Graham. Okay, Graham. Graham. Polo Graham! The meme is real. The meme is actually real. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. So Polo. He actually is named Polo. The joke, like, Oda gave us the ball and was like, alright. Alright. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the D Wade and LeBron right now. That's what we're going to do. We're about to have the most iconic alley-oop ever. And he landed it. He gave us the ball. Like, what's this dude's name? Polo? Is his name Polo? The whole joke built for like what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks? We had Polo as like the meme name. And then it actually happened. That's awesome. So Polo. Actually named Polo. The name's Graham. Alright, hold up. I gotta minimize a bit. For some reason it's not letting me. The name's Graham. Captain of the Polo Pirates, Polo Graham. So Marco's from God Valley. That's so weird. Oh, wait. So Marco... Oh, my God. His name literally is Marco Polo. Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. That's great. I wonder... We'll check later. We'll check later. I want to see if the wiki updated to Marco... Well, Polo Marco. That's so dumb. I'm a big fan of yours. Say, you got no ship to go back to, huh? Team up with me instead. Get out of my hair. Hey, where did Newgate go? Don't ask me. Gilbastar. Wait. Whoa. Gilbastar's got Perona's fruit? Wait, that's so interesting. That's interesting. Because that's Perona's fruit. The ghost here, that's Perona's fruit. And Gilbastar is one of the people we think is on Thriller Bark. As well as Gonzwe here. That's another interesting little fold there. Okay, we'll think on that later. I like that Stussy is upset, because of course she is. What are you doing, Dragon? Calm down. Oh, Dragon. Come back to Dragon. Oh, Dragon's going crazy. No, what are you people doing? Did you know what we were aiding here? Dragon, put them on a ship right now. We have to rescue them. And if anyone argues against it, I'll execute him on the spot. Yo, what? Oh, execute the captain. Oh, Dragon's gonna kill his captain. This is fire. This is fire. Oh, true. I did read the wanted thing. I did read that. And he did see ghosts in that. So it's actually really cool he has the ghost fruit. That's awesome. That's awesome. Dragon is... This is most based thing Dragon has ever done. And if anyone argues against it, I'll execute him on the spot. That's crazy. This isn't going to end here, Dragon. It better not. Dragon is crazy. Wow. Dragon. This is fire. Rayleigh, Gabon, where are you going? Don't you dare follow us. Take the ship out into open water and wait. No way. No way. No way. So, Rayleigh and Gabon are going to go fight Rocks too? Are you kidding me? That's not going to happen. I can't imagine that happening. Oh, man. That island. Oh, Emu's talking. That island. God Valley. That island will never have existed. Understood? West Blue. West Blue. I don't know why we're focusing on West Blue. Because I don't know why the panel here just says West Blue. I guess it's just because they're on the ocean. Saturn. Well, Emu possessing Saturn. The eyes here look so menacing. You know, obviously the shading here is really dark contrast. And Emu already possessed Saturn. But he obviously is very tired, you know, old eyeballs. So having him have these, like, very open eyes is very unsettling. Understood. So obviously this is setting up a buster call. The God Valley incident. S level. Top secret classification. Records of clandestine operations and special hazard pay for Naval Base G11 and Cipher Pole number 6. Registry of participants in the human hunt expunged. Site of event, God Valley. The other half exploded too? Are you kidding me? The other half exploded too. Island location, area, population details, erased. Number of fatalities unknown. Oh my god. So the other half is broken too. That's crazy. Garp. Did you know about that enormous black monster the government has? And they call themselves the good guys? I can't believe it either. If you're gonna quit the Navy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude. That is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. Alright. Music's off right now. Music's off. That right there, that's heavy. If you're going to quit the Navy, come join us. Dude, that alone might be more hype than the fight. I'm not going to lie. Like, just hearing Roger say that is insane. Like, I can't even imagine ever seeing this. Ever. Like, imagine if they actually teamed up. Actually. Oh my god. Like, and Roger is down. Roger is completely down for this idea. Oh, hold up. It shrunk. Don't be an idiot. If I quit, who's gonna watch out for the rank and file? Oh, so he's like the gatekeeper of like the bad people not getting to the top. Wow. Let me make sure that's what that means. I'm fairly certain that's what that means. Yeah. Oh, the rank and file are like, yeah, the others who aren't on the top. He's the gatekeeper. He's the gatekeeper. Interesting. Oh. Okay, so they're like Roger's like ragged right now. It all comes down to mass, doesn't it, Garp? I don't. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. So that's interesting. The mass thing, because let's really think about this right now. Because what they're going to talk about is talking about Emu, the monster being big. That's what the mass they're talking about is. But well, obviously, I have no idea. This is just pure like tangent speculation brain right now. What I think they're going to talk about is like, oh, Emu's so big, we got to attack it this way, right? But let's think about what this could represent, like macro, not just Emu himself or themselves, whatever. What I think this is meant to be a parallel to just immediately is influence. Because when we got into the story at the beginning, Luffy was like, I'm going to have 10 people. Gonna have 10 people. You know, that's crazy to think about in retrospect. With the world government, the Marines, the Yonko, like these are thousands upon thousands of people that work with them. And Luffy, you know, he can grow and change and be as big or as small as he wants. That's totally fine. But he's just one guy at the end of the day. So the growing and changing stuff, that's obviously going to come into play with fighting Emu. And that's what Roger's talking about right now, I imagine. But it's also mass, like, influence, like followers, like people who respect you, you know? And I think that's interesting. That I think is very interesting. I feel like that's where this is going to be like another influence analogy, you know? Okay. It all comes down to mass, doesn't it, Garp? Mass? What do you mean? First of all, whoa. Okay, so now we're talking about devil fruits. Now. That's not what I expected. I can put the music back on. Let me do that real quick. The color of armament is a power that doesn't yield to the devil fruits. Okay, so he's saying, yeah, hockey is strong in the devil fruits. Yeah, yeah. And on top of that, I was wreathed in color of the Supreme King. There's no way it couldn't have hurt him. Yeah, but he was guarding with Supreme King too, so they cancel out. That's exactly my point. There's no damage unless we surpass that. Are we saying there's like, well, obviously a lot of people think it, you know, there's something beyond advanced conquerors, right? And that's probably whatever Scopper Gaban used to damage Somers. That's what I think. And that's what now we are fully getting an allusion to. If it's all down to who wears out first, we'll lose. There's no way to keep up with a monster-like thing. There's no way to keep up with a monster like that thing. So you want to hit him with a critical mass of Supreme King hockey? Exactly. Don't even think about whatever stamina you need after that. In that case, you're saying we don't come back from this alive. If we can pull this off, all three of us will be down for the count. But if we miss, we're done for. Listen up, Rocks. I don't know what I could say to console you. I don't know what happened to you either. But there's one thing I do recognize. I recognize your sorrow. Okay. This panel layout is kind of strange. I don't know how I feel about this, but interesting. Whoa, new Garp attack. Whoa, 2 new attacks. Whoa. Whoa. Don't cry, you idiots. Oh, so Rox is just crying now. God of Fire and Infinitum. Okay, first off, the God of Fire thing, crazy. Because obviously, Ace, his son, Flame Fruit. That alone's cool. But Luffy being called the Fire Deity in Wano, that's crazy. That's a huge, like, double illusion sandwich there. I love that. That is awesome. That is awesome. God of Fire and Infinitum. Yo, what is Garp about to do? Garp's about to do the aura on this dude. There's gonna be a double page. I'm certain. I'm certain a double page spread is coming. I'm so certain that I put it on double and I'm ready. Oh my god. God of Fire Ace? Are we for real? Are we for real? Are we for real? Are we for real? That was even better than I thought it would be. That was so good. That was so sick. Okay. Camera's going up. Hold up, guys. Hold up. Camera's going up. What do you mean God of Fire Ace, though? What do you mean God of Fire Ace? What do you mean by that? Okay. God of Fire Ace. An infinitum explosion. That is sick. That is so sick. Okay. God of Fire Ace. So raw. Also, I love the way you can see they're like Garp is literally punching like Swiss cheese holes, and Rox is slashing through him. Not Rox, Roger is slashing through him. The world government attempted to cover up everything that happened here, but the downfall of Rox D. Zebek and his lawless band of followers, the Rox Pirates, who wreaked havoc on their era, cast unmistakable reverberations that shook the very world. Okay, the reverberations thing didn't go where I expected. That didn't go where I was expecting it to go. But, man. God of Fire Ace. God of Fire Ace. That is so interesting. God of Fire Ace. I really wonder if that's meant to be like was the God of Fire in Wano named Ace? Was it like that level? Is it that level? Because like that's crazy. That is crazy if we're thinking about it like that. There's just so much that happened there. Okay. This is another great chapter. Another one. Like, I don't know how Oda's doing this. There's no way there's a chapter next week after this. There's no way. It didn't say on the Viz website there was, and I just don't even believe there's going to be one. Because so much happened. So much happened in this chapter. Despite it being a fight chapter. So much happened. Which is awesome. Which is awesome. So, let's just do a little recap here. So we're fighting rocks. You know, this is cool. This is hype. All right. This is alone really cool. First off, the setup here with the parallels between Roger and Garp. Very cool. Very, very cool. Oh my god. I can't believe I didn't even think about this. Garp's attack is literally just Gum Gum Gatling. That is literally Garp's attack right now. So we have Gum Gum Gatling, right? Gum Gum Gatling, and an attack literally named Ace. Literally named Ace. Are we for real right now? So we have an attack that Luffy does all the time, which is essentially Gum Gum Gatling. And then an attack named Ace, that's crit. Nah. Dak, if you are down, I'm good to talk right now. If you're down. I see you in the chat. I will sit back down. I am seated. Sorry for the blinding lights. Should have probably tilted it down beforehand. But that was crazy. Alright. Wow. That was a phenomenal chapter. That was a phenomenal chapter. Yeah, it's like if Luffy and Ace to come. Exactly. Like, I didn't even think about it being like a Gum Gum Gatling thing, but now I'm like, oh no, it totally is. And I love that. Alright, let me pause the music. Alright, I am hopping in the Discord now. Let me make sure we're good. I'm going to be in the dog zone. Which, if you would like to be a member of the Dog Zone, please consider becoming a member of the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let me make certain. You should be able to hear stuff once it's all set up. But let's do a little recap. Oh, I got to tilt this down a bit more. Nope. Sometimes I tilt it too low. But, all right, that's better. That's better. So let's think about this realistically. Right? I don't know if I'm going to say that's a 10 out of 10 chapter again, because I've given the last two a 10 out of 10. But that was so good. Wow. That was phenomenal. All right. No, it has to be a 10. Dude, Roger said Garp should join the Pirates. That was so hype. Like, I can't even believe that happened. Like, that actually happened in this chapter. Oh, I need to check if Marco Polo is on the wiki. Marco One Piece. I need to know. We need to update this dude's name as fast as possible. Because we now know that this is there's no way he's not Marco's dad. There's no way. I need to see. So we're assuming Gil also has the ghost fruit as well, by the way, because that's really cool. That's so cool. That's so cool. All right, but what was I thinking? I was thinking of something. Oh, yeah, no. Roger telling Garp, just join my crew. That is so insane. You know who I need to watch the reaction of? I need to see King Recon react to this so bad. I need to see him. You know what? You could say someone's gonna waste it as an SBS question. You're gonna say someone wasted it, but Oda knew. That's why Oda also gave Captain John Kid's fruit. It was just hype and cool, and I was so down for it that I was like, this is hype. I'm very happy with this development. This is awesome. I need to lower this more. But yeah, this is hype. This is overall just hype. The hockey's off the charts. Polo Graham having the payoff with Big Mom and Kaido, which started this whole thing so long ago. Like, that is crazy. And, like, this too. That island will have never existed. Understood? That to me implies that Imu's super weapon is going to go off. Like, obviously the government's saying everything's covered up. Participants in the human hunt expunged. Island location, area, population, details erased. Number of fatalities unknown. Like, all this stuff they're saying, right? All this is getting erased. But, like, where is the island then? That's interesting. Isn't it? So, don't fully know. And that, I think, is something we're really gonna see, pan out soon. Unless it turns to a big old hole punch in the ocean, which it easily could. But if you're gonna quit the Navy, come join us. Like, what? That is crazy. If I quit, who's gonna watch out for the Marines? He's so awesome. He's so cool. Like, I cannot believe this guy. I cannot believe this man. Also, this whole page here about the Conqueror's critical mass thing, that's interesting. Uh, that is so interesting. Okay. Did you see what I said about Roger's comment on Emu? No. Oh, here. The fact that Roger refers to Emu as a black monster is really making the idea that this is his appearance and not a silhouette. I mean, I would like that. That would be fun. I would love that, actually. I don't know. Emu being a funny shadow creature to me is very fun. Because the appearance of the stupid silhouette is so iconic at this point that it's like, like they know. They know. And it almost is perfect, though. Because Emu has been so shrouded in darkness and mystery, and darkness not just like in a literal sense where like they don't go outside, but also they are evil to their core and are shrouded in darkness. So having them literally be a shroud of darkness is kind of fitting in a way, I think. And also like they're already making like tons of merch for Emu, like tons of merch. And I don't know. I think they're not going to change it at this point. They could reveal Emu has a face underneath all of it, but I feel like I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Cuz here's what I think they could do that would be satisfying and also allow Emu to still look like this. It's like cuz at the end of the day, unless Emu is like possessing Lily, right? Unless that's the case. Do I really care what Emu looks like? Do I really care? Honestly, not really. What I think will be the case, and what I think should be the case, is that Emu obviously did look like a normal person, right? Obviously. Maybe not even a normal person. They could look really goofy and stupid, like lots of One Piece people do, you know, very cartoonish and weird. But I think present day Emu would be, I would be completely fine if they just still looked like this creepy silhouette creature. Not even creepy, you know, you get what I mean. Hold up. Hello. I see Mr. Sake is in the dog zone. Let me make sure to turn you up. Yeah.
And everyone watching in chat, what's
Hello.
going on?
Well, first off, since this is the first time I'm speaking to you since such a momentous occasion, yo, congratulations and chat. We got to congratulate Mr. Sake on hitting silver plaque DAC. You know, we gotta make sure we big you up for that.
I appreciate it. I need to coin that term. I haven't thought of that.
Silver
Silver
plaque
plaque
DAC,
deck.
bro.
I like that. That's good. That's good.
There we go.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it, and thank you, everyone. I know there definitely at least a handful of people in the chat, are also regulars over on my channel too. So I appreciate y'all for the support, for real. Appreciate you, Kev. I should be getting the plaque soon, and I'm gonna have a stream, And Kev, you're definitely invited. I think I told you. So
Hmm.
yeah, hopefully that'll be soon.
Well, it should. They better be on rush delivery, bro. I don't know what that. There's so much to talk about, so I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I
And,
mean, I feel like they won't be on rush delivery, but hey,
you gotta have faith, you know. Gotta have faith.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
So, Dak, this am I gonna give a third 10 out of 10 chapter in like 3 weeks? Am I really gonna do
Yeah,
that? I think I will.
just do it.
I think I will.
Well, we're talking Polo Graham, bro. When you have
Polo
Polo
Graham.
Graham, that's a lock. You can't. I don't know how else you could like. You can't give it any other rating.
I can't
Yeah.
believe that it's actually Polo. I can't believe it. Like it feels like a joke. Like obviously I don't read the spoilers. You know, I know people do. I
Uh-huh.
obviously don't. But I cannot imagine reading the spoilers and seeing that. I genuinely can't even imagine. Just because that seems so fake. That seems like something someone
Yeah,
would make up to like troll on the internet. But no,
for
that's
sure.
actually real. Um,
Yeah. I
well,
mean that. I think that's crazy. And then you also, you notice that uh, Gil Bastard has Perona's fruit. That's like also just a cool little throw-in thing for the lore.
Hmm.
Um, and the dragon thing was good, and that's all. And all of that's not even to bring up the main thing, about Roger and Garp versus Demon Rock. So it's like 10 out of 10 for sure.
I'm gonna be so for real with you right now. I forgot about the dragon thing, and that was so awesome. I literally forgot
Right.
about it until you just mentioned it again. I was like, wow, dragon. This is like your best moment in the series, possibly. This is
Yep.
amazing.
Oh, Kaido and Big Mom.
Yeah, that too. That was amazing. That
That
was
was good.
amazing.
Yep. And dude, so we got a lot to talk about here, and I think there's a through line through all of this
Hmm.
that maybe I'll explain later whenever we get to the mass part. But first, I want to bring up so with the Kaido and Big Mom thing, you know how Big Mom's like, one day I'll come to collect what you owe, dot dot dot.
Hmm.
One thing that I thought whenever I reacted to it is like, is that a little bit of foreshadow
That they're
that
alive.
that they're alive and she's gonna like take some of his soul, or
Mm.
he's gonna have to sacrifice something to save them? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this? Because I mean I don't know if I agree that she even can take some of his soul, because like he's not gonna fear her, but at the same time I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's a little ominous for the future of those two.
You know,
Like.
I didn't fully think about it that way, but I definitely see where, because I think you and me both, we absolutely think these characters are coming back. So
For sure.
like there's no way that this isn't foreshadowing. You know what I mean? Like it, now that you say it, I didn't even think about it like that, but I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, because it just it just feels
Well,
right.
like Oda would want to set this up before he shows it. You know what I'm saying? Because like we
Yeah.
already knew that there was like this debt, but it would make sense if he gave us this backdrop to it, and so we knew the full story of it, and then he jumps back to their comeback, and so we are. It hits us even harder. It's also probably part of the reason we didn't get the full Kaido flashback. Like Oda's like, let me set some other things up before I really show you the finishing touches on these people.
Okay. I feel like so it's interesting you bring it up because in real world time, it has been like what 3 years since we've seen these two, like 3 years, um, because it's been over 100
Yeah.
chapters at this point, so it's been like a really long time since we've seen anything about them. Like even in that
Right.
huge Yamato cover story, which just finished, they were never mentioned ever. Um, which is so bizarre, because I think all
Yeah.
of us expected the grand reveal is going to be, oh, they're alive, oh, they're coming to somewhere. Um, so that it's very interesting that you mentioned that. Maybe this is like it's not as obvious as we would have assumed, but they are going to come back in some way. And maybe
Yeah.
maybe honestly, the end of the chapter is also alluding to that because it's like saying obviously the Rocks pirates wreaked havoc on their era, cast unmistakable reverberations that shook the very world, and like that's obviously true. Like all the characters who were in the Rocks pirates, who like basically everyone in that panel where they attacked Emu, like made huge, motions in the world that changed things for like years and years and years. And even Whitebeard, who we know is obviously dead, still has such an impact. And we don't know if Big Mom and Kaido are alive or dead, but we assume they're alive because One Piece, no
Right.
body, no death,
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like that alone could also be like foreshadowing for it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. It is kind of interesting looking back through it, where uh, like, like these reverberations, or like echoes, as TCB called it.
Mm.
Like because all these people that were connected because of rocks and God Valley now went on to change the world. It is cool that Oda had like almost like a nice little slideshow in this chapter. Like I didn't really acknowledge it, but he kind of showed every party that left here,
Mm.
and like gave us a little hint as towards what happened to them after this. You know what I'm saying? Like we got almost everyone, like all the different rocks pie, like yeah, I think we even saw Shiki and stuff.
We did,
So
yeah.
like, yep, and Silver Axe, like we got to see everyone, and so I think that's a cool little bookend. But yeah, and I think it's because a lot of these people are about to be relevant. So we talked about Kaido and Big Mom, dude. Like Silver Axe, we don't know if he's dead. He's probably around, right?
Hmm.
So Wang Ji, he is alive.
Yeah,
Like we,
Wang Ji, dude. This flashback has made me like, this dude is so up to something horrible, like
for sure.
absolutely diabolical. And it's like, because you do you remember when we first saw Wang Ji and everyone was like, he looks just like Caribou. He looks just like him. Like it has to be Caribou's dad. I can't wait for that to come back somehow. I can't wait. That's like my favorite like back burner theory. Like, okay, Wang Ji is Caribou's dad somehow. Caribou's really important still, like even more than we expected. It's just like
Yeah.
this is crazy. I can't wait for that.
Hmm. Yeah. There's so much for us to like figure out now that we've learned all this. Like, okay, well, what are all these characters going to be doing in the future? Like Miss Buckin. Now it's kind of cool to kind of look back on her setup already. Given all this context, and then now we're like, okay, well, she's trying to get Weevil and prove that Whitebeard's his dad. Like, now what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And like, because like I think what is it? 2 years after this, Stussy the clone gets born, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to her. I don't know, man. There's so much cool stuff. And also, even Oda even kind of showed like Saturn here with the emu eyes,
Yeah.
and I don't know about you, man, but it feels like he's like a pacifista getting an order. Like
Mm.
he's like he looks so
He looks dead.
blank.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's lifeless. He's just a robot. Like a zombie. Like I don't know. That's the vibe I got. It's very off-putting in
I
that way.
I agree with you there. When I was reacting to it, I was like, the shading here is really weird because like his eyes are so noticeable in even though the shading is so dark for like literally everything else. And now that you mentioned the Pacifista, like their eyes literally glow up too. I would be shocked if
Yeah.
maybe if Emu possesses you, your eyes like glow, or at least they look different,
Wait,
obviously. But like that's interesting to me.
wait. I just thought of something. So
Mm.
the way that Emu's like that island never existed, is that clear? Is Emu like mind wiping Saturn? Is that the idea?
Oh, that's interesting too.
Like,
That's
is
interesting
it
too.
not? Because you think back to Gunko not remembering like Brooke until she met him, right? Like
Hmm.
until like Elbaf started and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it could you like I can kind of imagine Emu taking over Gunko and being like, "Hey, that island that you were born on and that Afro guy that you met, they never existed.
Hmm.
Clear?" And then she's like, "Yes." And then like because she's just getting brainwashed or whatever. Like maybe
Hmm.
that. And then I wonder what the reason would be as far as like Saturn's probably a bad guy, but were these events so terrible that Emu doesn't even want Saturn to know this stuff, you know?
Yeah, like that's maybe Saturn. Well, Emu doesn't want Saturn to remember it because Saturn actually got like some form of actual damage. Maybe that's why. Maybe. Um, not like I don't know how if that's worded
Oh yeah,
correctly, but you get
yeah.
what I
Well,
mean. Like if Saturn somewhat was like sentient while Emu was possessing him, I feel like Saturn might be like, "Oh, wait, Emu looks somewhat weak here with all these people attacking Emu. Like, oh no, they're not
I could
fully invincible."
I could see that, or it could be that, or maybe also like Emu doesn't even want Saturn to know that he can take them over, right?
Mm,
Like maybe the Gorsei think they're kind of more independent than they really are, sort of thing.
I like that
Um,
a lot.
I don't know, man. There's a lot to take from that for sure. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that till I was just reading it. It feels like, yeah, it feels like a Men in Black like mind wipe now that I read it that way. Like
Mm-hmm.
at first I thought it was, hey, like that island never existed. Make sure you tell the whole government so that's the propaganda that we spread. Like I didn't think it was wipe your mind, but now that I read it that way, I don't know.
I like that more because it it's interesting because it makes them seem like they're also like nobody is safe. Nobody. Like Emu is really the one on top. Like even the Gorosei
Mhm.
are manipulatable and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah,
Hmm.
interesting. Um,
Uh,
but about the mass, let's
okay.
talk about the mass. So I'm doing a video pretty much on this, and now actually after even having this discussion, I think I might add a little something. But basically, so the whenever I even read the chapter, the first thing I thought of, I brought it up right away, is like mass. Like the last time we brought up mass was like the 21 grams of soul, because like grams is
Oh,
specifically
interesting.
a unit of mass.
Yeah.
And then I heard from Dexter that basically that he showed me the kanji for it. The kanji for mass in this chapter is the same kanji that was used when Vegapunk said like this much mass leaves the soul or whatever, like in that exact scene, like it was
That's
the same
awesome.
word. And I guess it's like, and it's different than the word for like weight, because mass and weight are different, in physics, like
Yeah.
they're connected but they're not the same. um and it's like that distinction, it's like the scientific specific word for mass. Like you wouldn't say, like if you're saying I weigh this much, you're not going to use that. You're going to use like, because he also says weight of the soul after that, and he
Mhm.
just uses the normal word. So like he used the specific same kanji in that
It's like how
soul
hockey,
thing.
like hockey in is like will, like literally, but like in One Piece, hockey is a power. So mass could also be like that. It's like mass is like a power. It's like a distinct word versus the actual meat, like mass, like weight.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
because here's the thing with Vegapunk, he's an Einstein parallel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Einstein came up with E equals mc squared,
Mm-hmm.
which is the conversion between mass and energy. And then that partially, and Einstein himself partially helped with the creation of the atomic bomb, which the point, the one of the big, you know, teachings of that thing is a very, very tiny amount of mass can create a giant explosion, right? Like if you do the
Yeah.
right process, like fission, then you can make nukes with like barely any product. Like one of them only took like zero point 0.7 to zero point 0.5 grams of uranium, not kilograms, but grams, and that created one of the nukes. Like I think it was the Hiroshima one, like the little boy, I think it was called.
Okay.
And so that's less than a gram. And so I think the idea is like your 21 grams of soul can be converted to power, but it might like hurt, or like it might take away your lifespan or something. I don't
I
know how
think
much,
that's
you know what
the
I'm saying?
I think that's the
But
implication of what they're saying. It's like if you're literally draining all of your energy, and like this has basically been Luffy's ability the entire series. Like the more he does all this stuff, the more he's draining his life. It would make perfect sense if Luffy had some kind of, grand, massive attack on, pun not intended, big attack on Emu, and that cost him like a lot of his life. Obviously, paralleling the Roger dying young thing. I don't know.
right.
That feels really
Yeah.
fitting, because we've even heard like throughout, like I think it was like Gear 4, he uses like weeks of his life, maybe even more. I don't fully remember, but like
Hmm.
now he's just casually doing that all the time. So it's like
Yeah.
we have no
Y-
idea.
Yeah. So another interesting connection with all this, going back to like the E equals MC squared or atomic bomb of it all, is like the mother flame and Lelucia are obviously a parallel to Einstein and the atomic bomb, right?
Okay.
Because Vegapunk had a hand in creating it, but didn't create it directly. Like he didn't actually launch it, or you know what I'm saying? Because York
Yeah.
did it. It's like there's definitely a parallel there with that, and so it makes me wonder. Well, does that mean that the Mother Flame is a soul that Vegapunk figured out how to convert? Because it's a fusion reactor, the Mother Flame. Like that's what they called it. So like is all this connected where like that, so like that the Lelucia thing, that's like if you converted soul into actual power, that's what like the devastation could be. And then you also think about Garp doing Galaxy Impact. It's like that literally looked like a nuke. So
Like
I'm
a
wondering if
bomb,
this
yeah.
is all just, I wonder if this is all just tied together. Like, yeah, like your soul, if you know what you're doing, can be converted into like insane power, but you just got to be kind of like we've seen with hockey already. You just got to train it. You got to get near death a few times to push yourself. And then the last thing I'll say is like, I wonder if this is all how Roger got sick. Like, what if he used too much mass here and it took away like too
Mm.
much lifespan, and it created like a Pedro situation where he knew he was going to die in like a few years because he had so much lifespan taken, right? And so Garp might, or I mean, Roger might have just gone through so much that he just got sick. And then, yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting. So I like that a lot. I like if because Roger getting sick is one of the big mysteries of the story. We still don't know how he got sick. We still have no idea, and it's never been named. It's always been like vague. And if what you're saying is correct, it would be purposefully vague, and that could be like a whole excuse, or he could actually be sick. Obviously, he could literally have gotten sick, and there is no cure. But well, no, he probably still got sick because then why would they get Crocus and why would? Hmm. But I like what you're saying a lot with the
Yeah.
him using up his soul. That I think makes perfect sense.
Well, and here's one other connection that I think is pretty interesting is so did you see in the anime that the Mother Flame was colored pink?
No, I didn't. That's interesting. What?
Yes.
Why pink? Oh, it could be
Well,
like
the
Leo, maybe.
well the thing I'm guessing it's gonna tie to is actually like Look and the cherry blossom
Oh,
stuff.
true.
Because Vegapunk already had like a parallel with him with the GP flower stuff, right? Where Vegapunk like won the Ibel Peace Prize because he made flowers that bloomed in gunpowder, and
Hmm.
then Luck wanted to make cherry blossoms bloom anywhere, and then later they did out of a cannon. So like it's kind of, you know what I'm saying? There's definitely like a parallel there between the two, and
Hmm.
so I'm wondering then when Luck talked about how he found this like miraculous place with cherry blossom trees, that healed him. I'm wondering if just like the end of Drum Island, where they didn't actually make cherry blossoms bloom, but it was kind of like a fake thing, but
Symbolic.
it still worked because it healed the heart of a country was like the what he was going for. So now I'm wondering, okay, well maybe the original cherry blossoms also weren't a cherry blossom. What if it ties to the Mother Flame somehow? Like maybe we're just learning that like raw soul power is pink or something, and it somehow
Hmm.
healed him. I don't know how that like all connects, but I just feel like the pink glow is that's like a Here You Look thing to me. So
Yeah. And it's also like we got to think about like when Roger was talking with Whitebeard about what the Will of D was. They're on that Sakura Island as well. Like that could also be like a thing that ties
yeah,
into this too. Um, I
that's
like
so
that a
true.
lot.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. And I don't know how to fully word what I'm thinking because I'm my mind's like bouncing around a lot of places right now. But I like the pink idea. What I'd be intrigued to see is how this possibly could connect with Luffy more like symbolically. Obviously, he's experienced some of these places that have this connection, right? But if this is somehow going to be tied to the soul and all, especially Roger, of course, this evidently has to go back to Luffy somehow. So that's something I'm intrigued in for sure because the Hero
yeah,
Look thing definitely makes sense, and I'd like the Vegapunk thing too, with him having the thing. It seems like oh okay, it's like a Banksy, you know, thing, which is fun. But then it's like it has this deeper layer to it. You know what I mean? Because Oda does that a lot. He has this thing that's like um, multifaceted. Like it's something fun, but then there's usually some depth to it that we don't expect. You
yes,
know?
yes. And I have a lot to add to that. But real quick, did you
Mm.
see
Oh, I'm about
terrible
to. I'm
TJ
about to. Big TJ. Big TJ. Yeah,
the goat?
I can't even say terrible. That seems like gracious. That seems like kind of phenomenal. So shout outs to TJ with the 5 gifted. Shout outs to
Ter- Terrific TJ.
terrific TJ. I love that, but terrific with a Y instead of an I.
Yep,
Um,
Terrific
yeah,
TJ.
terrific. Shout outs to Shadow True, Kopi's Lab Sands, the football guy, Tanner Cantaquiros, and Felipe Carvajal. Shoutouts to you five for being gifted members, and shouts to Terrific TJ. Shouts to that's like the
Hmm.
Domi Reversi, terrible
Yeah.
TJ.
um. So one thing, actually, I have a few things to mention. So going back to the cherry blossom trees of it
Okay.
all, I think there's an important tree through line there because of something that Will of Dreams mentioned in the chat, and I'm so glad you mentioned this because I actually just edited this part in the video I'm doing,
Mhm.
and partway through I was like, am I getting too crazy now? But I left it in anyway, and so you saying it made me more confident in it. But the remember the Skypea trees that were supposed to
Yeah.
house souls, and then we also were wondering what's up with the Eve tree that Emu might be protecting or sitting on top of or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And so like with I I don't so go looking back to Skypea, I don't know maybe if now we can look at that like more literal and like
Like the
maybe
trees
those
did have
trees,
souls in it, like actually.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
like they literally brought them back and then it makes me wonder, well, if Emu's powers are using people's souls, which I think is definitely true because of all the underworld connections, right?
Yeah.
Like there's something to it. It's like, okay, well, what if the idea there is Nolan cutting the trees down then made the souls get used by Emu, right? So like the ancestors
Oh.
actually had like a true negative outcome because of him cutting the trees down, and now we have to save them or something.
Okay. I like that because one, Skypiea is obviously connected with the past, like of the One Piece world, like with the ship falling out of the sky. A lot of people think that could possibly have some connections with the past, but that's been a theory forever. But regardless, that's cool. Secondly, I really like the idea of the souls being in nature, right? The fact they're
Right.
in nature means they're like safe from Emu's influence. And now this is going to be like somewhat heady, but I feel like this is definitely something Oda has talked about when it comes to the Celestial Dragons. Is like, of course, they rule everything. They rule seemingly the entire world, right? And that
Mm-hmm.
could easily be a man versus nature narrative, especially with what we saw in the mural with the first world of them literally destroying nature to get something. We don't fully know what it is yet, but what if that something is like souls or something like that? We still have no idea what they were taking out of the ground in that mural, but that could be something that builds into that because
I agree. I think that's what it is for
yeah.
sure.
But that's just like some speculate. But that then raises the question of if, let's say, in this modern One Piece world, they don't do that. They don't do the souls from the world thing. They don't do that. They easily could, but let's just postulate that they don't at the moment. Maybe that's why the people of Skypiea put the souls into the trees of like their fallen brethren and stuff like that to save them from people like
Right.
Emu, because now they don't use the dead souls that are in nature. Now they use it as like alive people, and maybe alive
Yep.
souls are stronger than the dead
Eh,
ones, which I could easily see being the case.
Yeah, and I could also see a world where this ties to like how devil fruits were made because like if you have a soul in a tree, I just feel
Mm-hmm.
like you're like that's like the start of the recipe for a devil fruit tree. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Uh, and then going back to like the mural thing, like it looked so we were told that they were something about how they were getting energy from the forbidden sun, right? Or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
So it going so if what they were pulling out was or they were souls, but it's also the forbidden sun, that would then make me go back to the Eve tree and like, is that where Emu stores all of the souls that they're using? And the reason why it
Mm-hmm.
gives off light is because like tying it back to the forbidden sun, maybe souls like glow, right? Like
Yeah.
they emit
Well,
light, and that so
Brooks soul we know glows. We know it's like a bright green kind of color.
right.
So we know that for sure. But that could just be some fun effects or whatever. But I could easily see it being the case for every soul. Um,
Uh,
I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, and TJ, you're talking about how the abyss is like the place between life and death. Like, yeah, like I'm not exactly sure how Oda's going to organize it, but I think it's something like that, where like maybe the abyss is just like a dimension to connect to the underworld, or it just is the underworld, or like the underworld is made of the abyss. Like I don't know what the
Mm,
exact science is going to be, but there definitely seems to be a thing where Emu is tapping into the underworld where the souls go and is using them. And there's probably like a lot of parallels there. Like, so for one thing, like Hawkins kind of, right? Like if Emu gets wrecked, it's like, okay, that was so and so soul. What do I care? You know?
Yeah.
Like maybe even regeneration is the same thing. Like they just use it. Like I don't know what level of like suffering those people are in. I don't know if and actually I was about to say it kind of reminds me also of like the toys from Dressrosa a little bit, kind of, because like they couldn't really do anything, like they were suffering on the inside, but they're just getting like used, right? But then you
I
think back to Rocks, he
mhm.
kind of did this like with Voice of All Things, he was like speaking out, like please kill me. It's like kind of reminded me of the toys a little bit. So maybe there is like some
I
connection. I don't
I
know.
completely think it's like the toys from Just Rosa. Like I've been thinking that um for a while, especially with him like talking but not being heard, except in this case, he was being heard. And now we still don't know if that's to do with the will of D or like his soul just being that strong because he's rocks. Of course, he's going to have a strong will. I mean, of course he does. But I completely agree with you. That's like the toys from Dressrosa. Obviously, Emu is meant to be like Doflamingo.
Hmm.
We know this. We know about the parallels. We know we've heard this a bajillion times. Parallels, inversions, etc. Like those are the two
Yep.
big words for analysis piece. Those two words in specific. Um, but it makes sense. It makes absolute sense. And having Emu also have the ability to wipe people's memories would be a even further parallel to the toys from Dressrosa, like how Sugar was able to wipe people's memories. So I actually really like that even more with him possibly wiping Saturn's memories. I didn't even think about that until you brought up the toys again. But no, that's cool. That's cool. I like that a lot. And if see, I don't want to say if we fully go with the Doflamingo like parallels, but I mean at the same time, Emu is literally. I even said puppeteering as like a thing. I didn't even mean to say it, but he was
Uh,
controlling Saturn completely um, during the last chapter as well. So I could definitely see it being, intentionally meant to be like the toys, because Emu is such
yep.
a I am greater than thou. Like Emu would probably say thou as well. Character that they would just view all the people in the One Piece world
Hmm.
as like toys, but they view them even lower than toys. They view them as insects, like not even things worth their time. So that is very interesting to me. Maybe Emu views like Luffy or Blackbeard or like the people in the room as something more valuable or more of interest, and that would be seen as like a toy to Emu, but we don't fully know yet.
Yeah, I think like because whenever it comes to Doflamingo and like kind of like puppeting people, you
Mm.
can also think back to Moria for sure is something that parallels that. Um, Trying to think, there was one other one I had in my head, but like we've had like several examples of that kind of control thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, and yeah, the way that like they I don't know. The hard part for me is like what exactly because like for the toys, obviously we know it's sugar's fruit and whatever, but it's like for this Domi Reversi stuff, like they're all just turning into like demonic versions of themselves, and I'm like, does Emu have a devil fruit or is this like I don't know. It's hard to tell what exactly is going on. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like I don't
Well,
know.
hmm. I don't wanna be like too specific, but like Emu's ability being this vague, I think is very intentional, obviously, because one, it's better to not know if Emu has a devil fruit, and then the reveal of it later would be more satisfying than Oda just straight up telling us Emu has a devil fruit. But with the amount of vagueness in the ability, it could be that Emu has like a combination possibly like Blackbeard. We still have no idea if Emu has one or multiple. Um, it's definitely possible for Emu to have multiple, I think, if
Hmm.
Emu's ability maybe allows that to happen as well. Like, obviously, we have the excuse with Blackbeard with the weird body thing, but what if Emu has, like, obviously, Emu could have a weird body too. We all think Emu could look weird and gross, but also look completely normal. That's the fun of this design. We have no idea what they look like, so we can just speculate on it endlessly. But that then raises the question of, okay, if Blackbeard's weird body, maybe, okay, I just thought of this. I didn't even think about this until right now. Is Blackbeard's weird body being Davy Clan or him being like a race? Because if it's him being a Davy Clan member, that means maybe all of them could have just had two devil fruits or more. We don't know.
That's what I think would be a little bit weird about it, is like it's not that unique to Blackbeard per se, right? But
Mm.
at the same time, if a lot of the Davies were hunted and he's like truly one of the last, few alive, then maybe it's all right. But I would just imagine that like the problem that would arise is like there's probably some other descendants that are maybe only like partial Davies, you know what I mean, like 10% or whatever after
Yeah.
several generations. And it's like, what's the cutoff to have the weird body? You know what I mean? Like, because if Eris also isn't a Davy, right? Because
Like
Eris is
by
from
blood.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's like Blackbeard's already only half Davy at that point. So it's like, I don't know. I think that might be a little strange, but
Hmm.
so I feel like it's something else. I don't
Okay.
know what it is though, but
Yeah, I'm just like, that's something I never thought of until literally right then. I was like, huh. But I don't know. Emu possibly having more than one is definitely a possibility. You know me. I'm obviously on the ink fruit. You obviously know this at
yep.
this point.
Oh, I know.
And it could be, oh, it's ink, so it could be multiple
Well,
things. Like, oh, you're covering up memories now. Oh no. But you
well,
know.
well, that actually reminds me of like one thing I was gonna say about Blackbeard whenever you brought him up.
Mhm.
Going back to like the whole mass idea, I think the mass, the whole mass thing might explain why like the darkness, the abyss, and hockey all kind of looks the same. Like I mean, it's just black, but they look very similar. And I think it might be because like so for Blackbeard, his powers are like a black hole, and a black hole is
It
like the
sucks in
most
all
massive
mass.
object. Yeah, it's the most massive object like in the universe. You know, that's why it has so much gravity, so much so that light doesn't even escape, right? So
Mm.
there's a mass component there too, and that makes me wonder if that could be why he's like a counter for Emu. If Emu is using other people's souls, aka their mass or whatever, it's like, well, hey, you're not gonna have more mass than a black hole. You know what I mean? Like that's, I think that might be an angle to it. But then for hockey, like whenever like whenever you coat yourself, or even with like black lightning of that we see from hockey a lot of the time, it's like I wonder if that is also like a manifestation of the mass per se. You know what I mean? So whenever you see the mass, it looks black, maybe because tying back to Blackbeard, it's just like massive stuff is black because light doesn't escape it. So I don't know if there's like that's the interplay between all of them, and I don't know if Blackbeard is going to be the perfect counter or if there's more to Emu's powers, but I feel like I don't know. There's got to be a reason that you know, Blackbeard's got black hole abilities.
Yeah, and like Blackbeard, he's obviously pretty egotistical, but he's not an idiot by any means. He's very, very intelligent. So him picking this ability after all this time, he must have thought this over like for years and years and years, like thinking, okay, I need this ability. Why? He probably never told anyone why, but he needs this ability. And that raises some questions. Like, is Blackbeard aware of Emu the entire time? Has Blackbeard
Uh-huh.
always been aware of Emu ever since he was a kid? At this point, I very highly think so, that it's very
Eris,
possible.
Eris is the answer, man.
Yep.
Eris, you
Because now
know,
we know she doesn't die immediately, like at
right.
least immediately. Like,
Yep.
she's totally going to die. Like,
So,
no doubt in my mind. But she's going to tell him a lot of stuff.
so remember when she was like, Rox, you're not ready yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's to me, that's telling me that Eris knew what Rox needed to be ready. Like she kind of was in on the plan for what, like how he was gonna take over and whatever. And so I'm thinking after this, she spent all of her time making sure that Blackbeard was ready, whatever that meant.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why he wanted the fruit, probably, is like, he heard from his mom how important this was, and what, how, what the evils are out there and whatever. I think she also figured out like how the circles worked and like the abyss, because like she probably was like, what was that demonic form I just saw,
Yeah.
and and that might also tell us a little bit about how Blackbeard like scarred Shanks, maybe, because he like knows how to use the powers because of whatever she figured out. I don't know.
Mm, I like that. It would be interesting if. Okay, this is gonna sound insane, but no, that wouldn't make sense because he didn't have the fruit. But regardless, what if he's able to use the teleporting almost like the warp fruit in a way, almost like that. He's able to like poof all around while fighting, and so
Hmm.
he looks really fast, despite him obviously not looking really fast. So that's interesting. That's
Well,
interesting.
yeah, and I mean, it's kind of interesting with like Domi Reversi, because I feel like Imu just did that without using the circle also, right? By just
Yeah.
stabbing rocks. And so I don't know if Blackbeard has a way to like just Domi Reversi himself, probably by falling asleep,
Mm,
honestly, right? And then I wonder if he just transforms then, and then he can shut it off somehow. I don't know, but
yeah. It's like one, and maybe the Domi Reversi obviously has to do with the teeth thing. Why is so many different teeth all the time? That could easily tie into that as well.
that'd be
Unless that's
funny.
just a joke that Otis built for so
No, that
long.
that would be funny if he was like transforming in between, so the teeth kept changing. That's okay. You know what, Kev? That's the best explanation that I have ever heard
For
for
the
his
teeth.
teeth. Yeah,
All right,
because
so
like
he's
I just
Domi
kind of chalked it
reversing his
up to
teeth.
Oda. I thought Oda was just messing around, but honestly, if Blackbeard was like using a Domi Reversi form occasionally, and then in between the teeth changed for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
that would be that'd be kind of, and then we could go back and track like, okay, well, it changed between this and this. So what did he do? Like what fight did he have?
Oda would give the main antagonist of the story like multiple personalities, so we're forced to reread it just to be like, okay, so now you're gonna, you know what I mean? That
Yeah, that.
feels like very Oda, you know. All right,
Hmm.
see, now you have to reread it all. Uh,
Um, Another thing I was going to bring up,
mm,
just something I just kind of have been thinking about with Domi Reversi lately, um, is it reminds me a lot of like the Ice Oni virus. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like even the transformation looks the same, and the kind of idea there was like you were putting all your, I don't know if I would say like life force, but like you were burning through all this energy for like a quick power up, and then you were gonna die. You know what I mean? Like you just ran out of energy. And I feel like that's what's gonna happen like for Domi Reversi people. Like you, if you can defeat them, then good. But I feel like they're going like 100% the entire time, and they'll just eventually burn out and die completely. And so, but like they'll obviously have like a long rampage before that. And so, um, I don't know. I guess I don't know how you would save Dorian Broggy then. You know what I mean? Because like you either fight them and defeat them, and I would assume they die, or you let them run out and they still die. So you have to like cancel it. Which even in this chapter, Garp was like,
how?
what do you say? Like, isn't there another way yeah, can't we undo it somehow? You know? Um, and so maybe that's where Gear Fifth comes in, though. But
Mm, I could easily see that happening. I feel like if we're thinking about it, obviously I would like Usopp to also help because Elbaf, the Giants are in danger. Like I just want that to be the case. Do I think that will happen? Realistically, probably like 50-50 if he is the reason they find out how to stop this. That'd be a cool 50-50 thing. But I completely agree with you. Like Gear 5 is going to be some way of figuring out what's wrong with this. Um, while you were saying that, I had something come up to my mind, like because of the Ice Oni stuff, right? It is very intriguing how like similar it looks to the Domi Reversi thing. Like it's
Yeah.
really intriguing because I didn't even think about that
Hmm.
until you brought it up. Do you think
It,
maybe
it, go ahead.
like do you think maybe Kaido was like, okay, Queen, you're gonna do
Hmm.
this, you're
Yes.
gonna do this
Yes.
for me,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
makes it really interesting because everything Kaido does obviously is like cool to think about with this whole Joy Boy angle. That already was cool. But now that we're getting more about who Rox was as a person and like his downfall and everything, it's interesting to see how Kaido is like constantly like in the shadow of this man. He can't stop thinking about this guy. And that makes me want to see him interact with Blackbeard so much more. Like, because
Yeah.
obviously Kaido, we think, would support Luffy, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I need to see like Big Mom and Kaido, both interact with Blackbeard. I need to know what they think of him. I need to know. Because they're going to immediately recognize him. There's no way they won't. There's no way. Um, but it's so interesting. And the reason
Yeah.
I thought of Wano too is because maybe like the Higurashi Kaido dynamic is what Eris is going to be to Blackbeard as well. Like I think that would be super cool. Like the one who like kind of well not manipulates, but like tells them like, okay, this is how the world really is, you know? So I don't know.
Hmm.
I think that would be really, really intriguing.
Yeah, I love the entire through line where like Kaido saw this demonic thing and he's like, "All right, well I want something like that. Queen, can you figure this out?" And Queen's like, "Oh, I can. Yeah, I got you."
Mm-hmm.
And like I just think that is so interesting. And then like TJ said in the chat, I think it was TJ, right? Yeah, like is Chopper gonna be the one to figure out the Domi Reversey stuff? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Chopper right now is like gonna be the one left with Scopper for a while, right? And that we've had this theory, or I think everyone at least has heard this, that like the Mountain Eater thing with Scopper, it might have happened at Drum Island,
Mm.
and so there's like because remember how Kureha was like she knew that Roger's name was Gold D Roger. That was the first time we ever heard that was from her, and she mentioned the Will of D and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
like she knows a lot, and so if Scopper did or yeah protect Roger on Drum Island, and he has some connection with Kureha and stuff, and maybe Here You Luck, then I think all of this stuff we've been talking about is going to come full circle. Like the cherry blossom stuff that we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
and yeah, I feel like I don't know, man. There's a Chopper has a good chance. Maybe he's gonna learn from Scopper about what the cherry blossoms really were, or what was up with Roger's sickness and whatever, and maybe that'll lead to Chopper figuring out how to save the Domi Reversey giants. Like
And possibly Luffy as well, if that does tie into Roger's sickness too. You know what I
oh,
mean?
true, 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 yeah, because like I feel like it's going to be an outside the box solution, right? It's not. It's going to be like something like the cherry blossoms curing the heart of a country kind of deal. It's going to be something like that where you're going to have to think outside the box to snap them out of it. So, I mean, hey, I got big money on Chopper figuring it out. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
I believe that.
yeah. What you bring up is a lot of actually good evidence and speculation, but I just want Usopp to do it. I just want Usopp
He,
to do something, man. I just need
he,
him to help these people, because he's the voice for them. You know what I mean? He's the voice,
yeah,
and I would
I hear
love to
you.
see like kind of what Roger said. Um, I recognize your sorrow. I need Usopp to have a moment like that. Something where he's like, I know who you really are. You're not like some heartless, warrior. I want him to give like a rousing like speech. You know what I mean? I think that would be
Hmm.
perfect. Um, and maybe that helps them snap out of it.
Yeah,
Maybe like anything. Like it doesn't have to
yeah,
literally cure them. It doesn't have to be a magic speech that somehow makes them better. That's never going to happen. It's going to be something more specific than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just want him to have a moment as well. But him and Chopper both having a moment together. I mean, with this arc being a huge love letter to the Baroque Works saga, that would make perfect sense. Those two work together in Alabasta, so them two working together to save the Giants, like that'd be really satisfying.
Mm-hmm. I'd like that actually a lot. As far as Usopp, I feel like after this chapter, I think something we're gonna see from him is he's gonna discover how to put all of his mass into an attack or something,
Mm.
and and then he's gonna have like his regular ass slingshot, with like a regular pellet or whatever it's called, and he's gonna put all of his mass into it and have like a David versus Goliath moment versus one of these giants. Like I agree with the speech you're talking about. He's gonna do that too, but just like this, we're like they're telling Rocks like I feel your sorrow or I feel your frustration, like TCB said, and then they finished him off. I think we could get a whole parallel to that. I don't know if it'll be Loki that's Domi reversied, so then it's like the biggest, baddest giant, you know what I mean, possible, and then he finishes him off with just like I said, a regular slingshot thing. That's like my ideal kind of scenario, just for the David versus Goliath like super parallel, um, but yeah, because part of the idea with like the 21 grams of soul thing is like everyone has the same 21 grams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a giant or a tentata, you still have 21 grams, and so theoretically you can have the same output if you work hard enough, whatever, right? Like you have enough will, whatever the phrasing you prefer. And so if he was able to do it, I think that would just be a cool way to end it, sort of.
I completely agree. But I had another idea as well.
Let me hear
What
it.
if he put all his mass into the 10-ton hammer and it then literally is
Oh,
a
yeah, that
10-ton
too.
hammer? Like
I like that too.
I was just like I had that thought while you were saying that, and I love the David Goliath thing. I am gonna eat that up. I completely believe that's gonna happen. I don't doubt that for a second. I would love it. I would love if it's Loki too. That'd be so insane to think about. The two big liars fighting. Oh, that'd be phenomenal. But the hammer
Yep.
thing. I just had that thought and I'm like, what if Usopp breaks Loki's hammer or something just unbelievable happens? Like this is actually a 10-ton hammer and it is. Like the full circle
So
lie that Usopp
yeah,
does all the time.
so that's an interesting tie to I think like the Abyss and stuff in general, because Emu like brought this book out and like randomly summoned a
Yeah, that was
shotgun or
crazy.
whatever.
That was crazy.
It if Usopp could tap into that even like just even 2%, then like he could really make his lies true, because like he can like he would be able to like manifest things, or he would have like a pocket dimension sort of idea, right? So if he wants to pull out a 10-ton hammer, he can just manifest it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So like I mean like turning his own regular hammers, heavy and stuff would be awesome. Or like because he would probably do like the inflatable version, you know what I mean? But then
Mm-hmm.
turn it real. But like whatever way he's got to do it, it would be really cool to like make the lies manifest. But I mean, I also think that if he does fight Demon Loki, then or any demon giant, but like I think part of that fight is like they're gonna fight for a while, so he might slowly learn how to do more mass, right?
Mm,
Like maybe he'll do the hammer a few times, and then there'll be like a final blow where he figures it all out and wins with the slingshot, something
yeah.
like that.
And one of his main attacks pre-time skip was the exploding star, right? And
Yes,
this
sir.
all
Yes, sir.
started, this whole discussion started with like the nuke being like the little thing that made a big explosion. That would be so sick.
Oh,
That would be
yeah.
sick.
He has a mother flame star,
Mm,
which also wait, the fact he calls them stars is
true.
interesting.
Like
Because,
Vegapunk.
huh, that's
Or the
that's very
Elders.
interesting.
The Elder Stars. I didn't even think of that too.
Yeah,
Mm,
I think
mm.
technically they're like the elder planets, but like
Yeah.
stars was like, but whatever. But also like black holes are like stars that like collapsed in on
Next. Yeah.
themselves too, right?
Yeah.
So There's a lot of stuff there, man. Like Oda's
Hmm.
definitely cooking. We know that.
Space Beast with Usopp. We gotta figure that out now. That's some untapped territory, I think.
Oh,
Let's talk about Space Beast with other characters, but with Usopp, we don't know. We don't know.
okay. I also got like a little mini theory for you that came up in the Discord. It's well, not completely, but mostly unrelated to what we were talking about. But I just like fell in love with this idea, so I got to share it.
Mm,
So you know how Gunko like had her memories come back at like some point, right? Like a
mm.
flashback that she totally forgot from her childhood also.
Yeah.
Um, well, I forget what even led us to this point, but what if Jarl has the same thing happen, which he also has like a sword in his head, so if he ever gets that removed, that might trigger this. But anyways, um, what if he gets a flashback from when he was a kid to when Noland visited, and we get,
Oh, dude.
like he literally remembers, and maybe it's Usopp who triggers it, right? Usopp does something, and he's like, wait a second. Because like I've been saying for a while that they met, but I was also like, yeah, he'd be like really young. I don't know if he'd really remember it because like for giant years he'd be like 2 or something, or like
Yeah.
maybe 3. I think he'd be like 8 years old overall.
That
Um,
that's like when
but
Pedro met Roger. Same exact
yeah,
dynamic there.
yeah. But well, wasn't Pedro like 8 normally though, like just regular 8?
No,
But
but
like, cause
you get what I mean. Like the kid
yeah,
idolizing the guy.
right.
You know, that same dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely that parallel part. I was just worried about Jarl's age because I'm like, I don't know if he'd really be like conscious enough to remember. But if we use this Gunko example, then I think it could work where like it just kind of triggers. He's like, oh my God, wait,
Hmm.
these visions are returning. Like, what the hell? I think that'd be kind of cool. And actually going back to Saturn, how he's getting like his memories erased. Like this could be a whole story about like this is really crazy, but what if Nolan did some wild stuff, on Elbaf when he was sailing around,
Mm.
and maybe Emu for some reason had to wipe a lot of the Giants' memories from what Nolan found or talked about or something like that. I don't know. That's like maybe a bit
Probably the
much, but
mural. Probably the mural. He probably saw the mural. Um, Knew something about the mural. I would easily imagine that if Nolan's like this
oh
world explorer,
yeah.
traveler guy.
Oh, that's good.
What'd be cool is if some of Nolan's books were in that library. That'd be a crazy, crazy reveal.
Oh,
Um,
gotta be
yeah, Biblo. It all comes back to Biblo.
the goat, man. I
Biblo
need
the
to see
owl.
that. I need to see that I don't know. He's gonna awaken at some point. I think. Oda better show us the awakening of every fruit. That's like one of my little hopes and dreams that I don't think will ever happen, but I
Yeah,
want it to happen.
there's no way we're
Like
seeing the awakened jacket fruit, bro.
no,
I'm not gonna lie.
that one we have to see.
The
That
awakened
if we
jacket fruit is just like the abyss opens up on the ground and just stuff
y-
starts coming out.
dude, I think you would be able to like make yourself a jacket and go like wrap around like a building or like a weapon. Like, can you do that already? Like
I
inanimate
was
objects? I
I
don't
was
know.
gonna make a JoJo joke, but I don't think you would get it.
Okay.
Um, but
No, unfortunately.
in one of the sections, one of the main dude's ability is like a zipper thing, and he could like create
Interesting.
zippers in like the ground and hide in the ground and like zipper like unzip a person. So like say they have a zipper on their arm,
Wow.
you would unzip them and the arm would fall off.
Ooh,
Um, that would be the
that would be
jacket fruit.
crazy.
That'd be the jacket fruit.
Hey, that'd be dope. Let's see that. Oda, take some notes,
Yeah, the
you
Funk
know?
Brothers, they're gonna come back. Final War, it's gonna be crazy. What about
Um,
Orlumbus's bowling? That's not even a fruit. Is that even a fruit? Orlumbus's
I don't
bowling? I don't think it
I don't think
is.
so. I think he's just a hoss, you know?
Yeah,
I'm
true.
pretty sure.
True.
He's just been working out, man. Him and Garp, they've been doing shot put, you
Dude,
know?
I would love to see Orlumbus and Kobe, just hit the lanes. I feel like they would
Oh,
have
that'd
a
be
fun
dope.
time. They would be like, "Oh, Luffy,
Uh,
Luffy," and that's it.
dude, yeah, I'm waiting for my boy, well, all my boys in the Grand Fleet to come back, man. Orlumbus. Don't forget Columbus. Also, Orlumbus is number 2 on the crew.
Columbus.
Yep, Columbus.
I have to. Is it
Like
with a K?
no, like it's Columbus, like the city I live in, Columbus.
Okay. Oh, the girl. I do remember
Yep.
her.
Wait,
Wow.
technically, we don't know if she's the number two, but I
But she's Columbus, like
yes.
co-captain.
Well, and we just like don't know anyone else on Columbus's crew.
Hmm.
Like Columbus has been named multiple times. I think that's enough. I think in Dressrosa, Columbus was also like, Columbus, take charge of this ship and go over here. And I'm like, okay, well, that's you trust that person a lot. So
Hmm. Uh, that's so fun. I love how we just can bring up those random characters ever, and it's like, oh yeah, them. I love that. Like I brought up the
yeah,
jacket
man.
guy. You brought up Columbus. That's awesome.
Uh, Columbus was actually on the cover page on the chapter where we first ever saw Emu.
That's crazy. That's actually
It was
crazy.
Orlumbus and Columbus going through their
That's
daily routine.
that's like how this chapter we saw Beppo. Saw Beppo. And like
Yeah, I
meanwhile the big three are like clashing it out. It's like okay. Okay, dude.
I love it. Um, so quick question: where do you think this goes after this? Like Rox is gonna get to say some final words, right? And then he's gonna
I
die.
don't
Is that
think
your
so.
expectation?
I think he's dead. I mean, I imagine. Like,
Like he's just gonna fade away?
yeah, cause like I don't know. I feel like his last words being like, "Who do you fear more, Davy D. Jones or Joy Boy?" Like that was hype. That was actually so hype, and I don't know. I feel like that felt
But
satisfying to me. Um, like
but
obviously it's not like a grand speech, but it's tragic in a way, and I feel like his character is uh,
mhm,
a tragic character. I think if he did finish his plan, he would have done it. He would have beat Emo. I'm actually so convinced. I've fallen for this man's I've fallen for this man's everything. Like, yeah,
the
he's that
aura.
strong. He's this cool. He's got everyone backing him. He's literally like the Luffy of this generation, even more than Roger, which is crazy. I feel like everything went
Hmm.
this dude's way except he was born Davy Dzavek. Literally everything went his way
Hmm.
except that. And it's insane.
So
It's almost like he's kind of
but
like no, I wouldn't say that. Maybe I would. Maybe I would. I feel like Rox is kind of similar to like Ace in a way. Like they're born from this like cursed family and Roger
yeah,
seemed fine.
hit
He
his
seemed like he
name.
yeah, he had to hide his name. Like that's really interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think this man could have done it. He could have went the whole way. He could have. He's kind of like now I'm really thinking about it, he is kind of like Ace a lot, which is so
Hmm.
interesting. And it makes it even more intriguing that like Roger was Rox's rival, and then Rox's son was Roger's son's like rival and eventual like defeat. Like that's crazy. That is insane to
Yeah,
think about.
yep, yeah,
Uh,
man. And his greatness is why I think he will die, but I think he's gonna get some
some last
moments at
words.
least in the next chapter. I it's hard for me to see him not get because like he's not gone yet as of the end of the chapter, right? We see his face like at
Yeah.
the second to last panel. So I have a hard time believing he's just gonna completely fade. Like he'll at least get like a voice of all things message out to the boys. That's
Or
what I'm
to
thinking.
Blackbeard. That would be
Well,
crazy.
Well, a big thing that I think he's gonna say to Roger and Garp is like, take care of my child, because that's a thing that Roger and Garp did later, right? When
True.
Roger said it to Garp. So maybe Rox is setting the stage for that now, like a little, like doing it here at God Valley, and then that's what, kind of inspired Roger to say it, I guess, to Garp.
Mm,
But
that'd be really satisfying. That'd be
hmm
really satisfying.
or or maybe Whitebeard hears it as well, or he specifically says it to Whitebeard,
Ooh.
and then that would make the whole Blackbeard situation super spicy.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Cause now it's like because now it's weird because we thought for such a long time, okay, Rox is a bad guy. He's terrible. Whitebeard was on his crew. Whitebeard hates this dude. It seems like Whitebeard kind of loves this dude. He seems like
Hmm.
really chill with him the entire
For
time.
sure.
Um, and he never betrayed him ever. That was a complete lie. He literally just attacked him one time, and then like Whitebeard didn't even fight him. I think we assumed Whitebeard would have clashed with him a time, and they really didn't. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's crazy, like how much of our preconceived notions were just completely thrown out the window. But like, I'm so happy about that. I think, you know, I'm very happy with the entirety
Yeah.
of this flashback. I can't think of a thing that I'm like
I
annoyed
agree.
by
It,
at all, really. Um, it has
and we have a
surpassed
lot
my
to go.
expectations. Yeah, and we're probably done with God Valley after this next chapter or this
Yeah, I
one.
agree.
Um, this could be the end, but I it would be cool to do that like grand final message thing, like maybe telepathically, not even him talking, like him using the whatever
Oh, I.
he's using, like Will of D, or
Yep. Yep.
and that could be how he communicates with Blackbeard as well if it's the Will of D. Um, but I don't know. It's like I don't know how to fully word it. I guess I feel like next. How old is Loki at this point? I don't even know. Um, is he like 8 years old still, or probably like 12
Well,
now?
no, he was born 63 years ago, so he's 25, but
No, but
divide
like in
by
giant
3.
years. So what? That's like 8 or 9. Oh, 8 or 9. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
8 or 9.
There's no way we're gonna cut.
8.3.
Are we really gonna cut back to him after all this, or are we gonna cut back to Harold? Because we still have to
Both.
see. Yeah, yeah. I want to see
Yeah,
how
we're
Harold reacts to Rox's death a lot. I'm very intrigued on that.
same, and also Loki, right?
Oh,
Because
definitely. Yeah.
like,
Because he
c-
idolized him.
right. I've been making the parallel to like Odin, with Roger, like where he ran to the beach or whatever. But I think there's
Mm.
like a big inversion that Oda's gonna do where Loki's like super angry, like, dude, you failed. Like you told me you were gonna do this and that and you didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like where Odin's like, oh man, you accomplished everything. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm so like I'm happy,
Mm.
but I'm sad. Like you did everything you wanted, or like he technically didn't accomplish his second dream probably, but still, it's like you made it there. We learned it. Like we accomplished. Like you know what I mean? He was happy, but also sad at the same time. I think Loki's gonna be sad but angry at the same time, and that's gonna
Mm.
be a cool little inversion where now he might be a little spiteful, like he doesn't want to believe in anybody now, you know what I'm saying? And so
Exactly.
then so Luffy will have to really step up to kind of break through that barrier of like, nah man,
Mm.
like I'm the one, like hey, that guy was probably great, I never met him, but I'm not gonna fail kind of
I
thing.
would, I would love if Luffy says like something about this rocks guy seems really cool, but you know what's gonna happen? You know what's really gonna happen, which I hate. Luffy will have fallen asleep months ago. Luffy will have not heard a
Oh yeah.
lick of this flashback, and it's like, oh yeah, so this guy Blackbeard's dad, who? Like he's not gonna know.
So
He's not gonna know.
I know, I I wonder just from Oda's perspective how much of this is actually getting said. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
because
what like the
Loki wasn't
parallel I
there. I got
yeah,
that.
like the parallel I keep making is to the Nolan flashback because like Calgara, like I think like Robin mentioned Nolan and then Calgara started crying and he remembered like this old man talking about it and 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 I don't know, like in my head, like that was like a really long random flashback where like Calgara probably didn't actually know all those details. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't actually there, neither was the old guy he was hearing it from. So it's like Oda just used it as an excuse to start a flashback. And
Yeah.
so I'm like right now looking at this one, I'm like, Oda's definitely doing the same thing. So how much of this does Loki actually know versus it's just Oda telling a story? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't really know how much he's saying, but I'm sure he's gonna mention that Rox was great and he died here. Like Loki, all Loki might be telling Luffy is the stuff that we've seen with Loki so far. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
then Oda's just filling the gap just for us kind of deal. So
Gives us a sense of that dramatic irony as well. Like, what is Loki actually saying to them that's true versus what he doesn't know and he's saying to them. The unreliable narrator of Loki telling them the story. So
yeah.
that just makes it more satisfying because he's like, oh, rocks. I used to idolize this dude, but then he died. You know, something that's probably what he would say if he's like
Hmm.
petty and like scorned by that. Um, but then we see how good he actually was, um, whether it's like as a person or as a fighter, strength wise, you know, all that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like we'll probably cut to Harold first and then Loki. And then we'll actually start Loki's actual flashback. And instead of it just being the Harold flashback and then the Rocks flashback.
It
You know what I mean?
it's tough because like I do think we're gonna get back to Harold and Loki, but couldn't you see Oda showing us some Rocks pirate highlights along the way? You know what I mean? I think I mentioned it
Yeah.
earlier, but like Stussy, the clone gets made 2 years from now. I don't know how he would do it. Maybe like somebody will just read it in the paper, like, oh, Mads created the first clone. But I feel like Oda's gonna have to intermix some of their ongoings because like this is just the best time to. It's fresh in our minds. It would make sense for him to trickle it in now. So like,
Yeah.
um,
When
so I
else
don't
is
know,
he
but
going to get this opportunity at the end of the day? Like, when else? Because are we going to get
yeah,
another Rocks flashback? Maybe, but like, when? Like the final war? Maybe. Or with Blackbeard, obviously. But Blackbeard
yeah.
doesn't really know them. So how would he, you know what I mean? I feel like that could be kind of disjointed and is like the perfect time to just, here you go. Here's all of it.
Yep.
I don't know,
Man.
but what do you think though? Are you thinking more Loki for, or are you thinking the Rocks thing is next? Like that's what it's gonna be, or do you think it'll be like we see Harold and Loki, and then we see what they're up to, and then we get back? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, I'll say this. As for the very next chapter, I think we're gonna see the Rock's aftermath, and then Oda has to show us the fruits, right? Because we haven't seen those, and like I think we're gonna see like certain parties each got one somehow. And so
And
I think that's gonna be
Shanks,
the next chapter. But sorry, what's that?
and Shanks too, in Roger's
Yeah,
ship.
yes. Everyone who took treasure is gonna open their chest and find a devil fruit, right? I think in this next chapter, except for the Roger pirates who will find Shanks, but
Yeah,
everyone's gonna open their chest at the same time, and they're all gonna get a certain treasure. I'm thinking. Um, But then as for like whenever we get to actually Loki and Harold, I think at this point Oda's built up the Harold stuff so much that he has to show us Harold's whole life until his death, right? Like the next
yeah.
24 years we have to see Harold, like the different deals he made, some of his discussions with the government. Like maybe Elbath will have some unrest at some point or something. I also think we're gonna have to see when he like becomes friends or starts trading with Sky Islands, namely Burka, because Burka was a city like in the Viking Age, you know what I'm saying? Like a trading city, so like it ties in perfectly.
Mhm.
So like we're gonna see Loki's flashback, but it's mainly gonna be Harold's, and Oda will just show us Loki stuff along the way because I don't know if Loki's really gonna be doing that much in the meantime. Like he's gonna react to rocks. Maybe he'll train or whatever in the meantime, but probably be like a troublemaker. But then he's gonna have the Lola marriage thing. He's gonna sail around for a
Oh
while.
yeah,
He's gonna kill or well, like whatever the Herald thing is, and then he's gonna lose to Shank 6 years ago, right? Like those are like the main events. So Oda's gonna just show us Herald the whole time, but then show us Loki along the way, pretty much.
and the what we mentioned earlier about Big Mom's talking to Kaido. I didn't even think about the fact we still need to see all the stuff with Lola. I literally didn't even think about that. It's like that's
It,
even more Big Mom talk that we still need to see.
yes,
It's like, oh no,
yes.
there's so many like little things about her being important here. And it's like, oh, are we gonna see her then? Probably. We've already. This will now be the third time with the Lola stuff. It'll be the third time she's brought up in this arc alone. So
Uh-huh.
probably,
Oh yeah. I mean, that's something I'm really, really looking forward to. I don't know really what Oda's going to do with it because I feel like just the entire setup that the Giants would even be willing to become Big Mom's army just feels
yeah.
wrong, you
It's
know?
it's.
And so I'm
I think it
so
might be
the
kind of
sketchy
like.
guys.
What
Oh,
is it?
never mind. You know those sketchy like elder guys who set up the Estrid thing with Harold? You know, like they've been
Oh, it could be
silhouetted this
them.
whole time.
Yeah, it could be
I'm
them for
wondering if
sure.
yeah, they might be in cahoots with the government or the underworld or something, right? And are doing
Hmm.
this.
I I definitely agree with you there. I was also thinking like whatever we see about the flashback could be kind of like what we saw at God Valley. Like, yeah, a lot of it is things we've heard, Yeah, oh, Roger and Garp and Rox did fight, but how did it actually pan out? This is how. Maybe instead of Lola being like disinterested, maybe Loki and Lola actually like did have something at all, like anything,
Yeah, I
right?
think they did.
But because of like realistically probably Big Mom and not Loki being a bad guy, things fell through. And that would be very interesting.
Yeah, well, it is because yeah, what if it was just that like, hey, if we get married, you know, Big Mom's gonna have an unstoppable army and I don't want her to
Mm.
take over the world, so bye. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, but maybe she actually did like him somewhat,
Right.
but then
Yes.
obviously eh, wait, that's
Yes.
actually crazy. Didn't hold on. Sorry. I have to look something up now. She
You're
married
good.
Gotti, right? Gotti.
Gotti, yes.
And
Yep.
Gotti also coincidentally has purple hair and is
It's
big and
interesting.
muscular and like that's kind of wild. That's kind of wild.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Gotti.
Gotti
Man,
also has that's such a reach, but like consonant O, consonant I, like the name even is somewhat similar to Loki. That's I don't know. That's a huge reach, but I just think it's
yeah,
intriguing.
it I do want Loki to like look at Gotti and be like just have
Hold on.
some reaction,
Yeah. What's
you
up
know?
with this guy? Why does he look somewhat similar to me?
Or
Despite
just like
him being
what's he got
small.
that I don't got? Purple
Mm.
hair, he's big, you know, like you know, I don't know, something like that would be funny.
That'd be fun.
Um but yeah, so all we really got to get is like just that and the Herald thing and the 6 years ago versus Shanks thing, you know? But like he doesn't even have to do the 6 years ago thing. He can stop at 14 in this flashback, right? Like
Mm.
the Herald, what happened with Harold is the entire reason we're doing this. So I think that's why Oda has to show Harold like everything for now, but we'll just get
Oh,
little bits of
definitely.
Loki, you know, like
What I was more so
Harold
referring
City.
to um, was like, okay, are we gonna have Loki be our point of view character for a while? Like, I don't think I agree with you. I think the Shanks thing is gonna be saved for Shanks's flashback later,
Yeah.
whenever we get um,
Hmm.
his massive wall that we're gonna get. I feel like that just makes sense to me. Because Shanks, that's apparently when he became a Yonko, right? He defeated Loki and became a Yonko. Wasn't that it?
Uh, is that I don't know if that's confirmed, but I
No, but
think
like he
that's the
became it
ongoing
6 years
idea.
ago. He became it 6 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
So we'll
I think.
probably
I think so.
yeah, because we know he was the newest of the four. Um, so we could see maybe okay, was there one before him? If so, if there wasn't one before him, I think that would be a really cool way to show like how Luffy is a parallel to him as well. When Morgan's called Luffy the fifth Emperor of the Sea, maybe Shanks being called the fourth Emperor of the Sea, maybe that was crazy, like all those years ago. I think that would be a cool reveal if possible, but obviously he could have just been the fourth and then replaced someone else, whether it's like a Shiki or like a whoever. That could be fun.
Yeah, I wonder who that would be at the time.
Maybe Wang Ji. Maybe.
he wouldn't have lost back. Like I mean, he was still leading Pirate Island 2 years ago. You know, so like I don't know if he ever was one.
True. True.
Um, maybe Silver Axe.
Maybe. I'm still under the slight opinion that Silver Axe might be an undercover Marine. I still somehow believe this theory because there's nothing to disprove it yet. You know what I mean? There's nothing that I've seen that's like a
Yeah,
definitive. I don't know because I still think he's Drake's granddad. I don't know if you've heard me ramble about that, but like
yeah.
I don't know.
I think the timelines don't work. I think.
Hmm.
Hold on, because how old is Diaz Barrels?
I have no idea. This is just pure vibes because like the character
I
looks so similar to
I think I did
Drake.
the math and it wouldn't work. Hold
Okay.
on.
Uh, he doesn't have an age here. I'm seeing.
No, but Drake does, and he's 33 now, which is kind of old. So like
Oh,
Drake
true.
was born 5 years from now, so that means that Silverax would have had to have Diaz Barrels at least 13 years before God Valley, you know, and
Mm,
that's just like
yeah, that's
I feel like
messy.
that's not gonna happen. But he could be like his uncle, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that I believe completely. That I completely believe. And if it's the wait, actually, I love the uncle thing because let's say let's say this. Let's be super reachy here. Let's say
Okay.
like Law is
Year
like
5.
no, no.
You said Super Ricci.
Oh, true, true. Like you know what? You're so right. Um, let's say Law is like technically Doflamingo's adopted kid, right? Let's just say that because he kind of
Okay,
is, right?
sure.
That would mean that Corazon is Law's adopted uncle because that's Doflamingo's brother, right? So, and Corazon was obviously an undercover Marine spy. So, if Drake, the undercover Marine spy, his uncle, Silverax, is an undercover Marine spy, I don't know. I think that'd be fun. I think
Yeah.
that'd just be fun.
No, I'm with you, man. I think there could be a connection there for sure. Um, who are the other rocks pirates that we so like so the from here we got like Shiki, Gilbaster, who we know dies, Gonzui, who we know dies.
Captain John.
We know he dies.
I hope Captain John did die when he magnetized all that stuff to him. I really hope he dies. Like, that's my big, like, I hope, because some of the swords were magnetized to him. I just hoped he got sliced up by some swords. I think that would be so fitting. You know what I mean?
Well, didn't we
Um,
see him at the end of last chapter or in last chapter and he was still alive?
oh, did we? I thought that was 1163 the magnet one.
Yeah,
It was.
let me
Okay.
double check. I'm
All right.
almost positive we saw him like wrecked, but he was talking still.
Okay. Because last
Let me
we
see if I can.
saw
Yeah,
Gons,
yeah,
we had the booger
in
fruit.
1164.
Okay. Where was he in that? Can you let me
Yeah,
know?
it's down like right after Dragons like, pound like hitting the ground like upset that he didn't save Shanks and like Shiki's
Oh,
sailing
you're
away
right.
with it
Oh, but he's
in
like
the bottom
bleeding
right.
out. He's like
He is. I
bleeding
mean,
out.
he's hurt, but he's still
Yeah.
alive. I get, I guess technically he could die, but
Yeah. And if he does, that adds to the God Valley Thriller bark. That adds to that.
yeah, but it's also interesting that Gil Baster seems to be one of the zombies, right? It looks like,
Yeah.
yet he's not dying here. So
Yeah.
it's like,
And he also has
like
Perona's fruit. So that makes me think that Moria killed him and gave the fruit to Perona. That's what I think.
maybe.
Cuz like that coincidence is too much. That's too much
And
of a coincidence for him to be like, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, I don't know. Oda planted a lot of seeds this chapter. So, and now that I think about it, you know how we talked a lot about how like the mass is the soul earlier?
Yeah.
Well, I was just kind of rereading this, and if you really think about it, there's a bunch of like small hints to soul related things this whole time. So the Big Mom thing for starters, we talked about this where she's like, "I'll come back to collect what you owe," right? It's like, okay, is this a Big Mom's getting Kaido's soul or whatever thing? Like,
Yeah,
not
like
saying that's true, but
the wheel thing. The
right.
What was
Yes.
what did she say? She said
Well,
something.
Soul Pocus was like the thing she did to Jinbei, but then she would say
Yeah.
like life or I forgot it.
I
Well,
think
she would
life with
change
this.
it
Yeah,
depending on
it would be like stay or
stay or
life. It
life
was like one of
or
them. I remember that.
yeah, but
Uh,
yeah, she had a couple of them, but so that's one soul thing, like this Big Mom thing, and then another thing, and I don't know, we didn't really. Well, here I'll say this one last because it's the
okay.
most reachy for sure. But and then we also saw Perona's fruit, right? That's like that's
Yeah,
not
the
necessarily
ghosts.
soul, a ghost. So that's like super duper close anyway. So I
Mhm.
feel like that counts. Um,
And even so, like
and
in
then
Thriller Bark, Brooke is the sole fruit. You know what I
yes.
mean?
Right. Yeah, and that was like bringing back the undead and everything. So, and this whole God Valley thing, like if a chunk of God Valley really is Thriller Bark, that's just a lot of soul stuff. But then here's one that I think is interesting. I don't know if you heard this idea, and I don't think it works, but it's at least bringing up to your attention. Is like people were saying, could Polo Graham actually be Marco, but he was reborn with the Phoenix fruit?
Oh, that's
You
so
know,
awesome. That's so
so
awesome.
and so, just real quick, as far as the soul angle to that, even if that's not true, that would still tie to the soul because it's like you're being reborn, revived. It's like Brooke, kind of, but a totally different
Yeah,
form, right? So that's another
that's
soul thing. But but Marco's 45, so he's 7 already by the time God Valley happened.
oh,
So
okay, okay.
yeah. So some people were saying though, like, well, maybe the way it works is you get reborn to the day you ate the fruit, so maybe the timelines can still work.
Ooh, that's
But
even better.
I think I don't know if that's gonna happen. You
That's
know, I
so
think
spicy. That's so spicy. Cause like I I want Marco to die so bad. Like this
just for
character,
the fruit.
yes, I just need to know. I need to know. Like, is he gonna revive as like a baby? Um, I don't know if you remember, but in Wano, I was talking with Randy about this, and it was like Marco needs to die and be an egg. I need him as an egg or something because of
Yeah.
Tamago, you know, for Big Mom's crew. I need
Oh
to
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
I need to know what's gonna happen to Marco. Um,
True, true.
uh, it's just like
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea. I don't think it's gonna happen at this point, but I do think Marco, you know, like I was saying, that's such an important plot point that I think
I don't
we're
know.
we're we're gonna see that.
In the
I think we
final
have
war,
to.
he's totally like if he's in the final war, I can tell you like if there was like if I could set up like a one piece parlay of things I want to happen in the final war, I would put like
Oh,
$1,000 on Marco dies. I would put so much into that
uh,
parlay, you
I,
know?
I I thought you were gonna say like if we could have like a hit list, like a ranking of the people that are gonna die. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like who's definitely dying here in the final war. Marco
Yeah.
is maybe the number one person on
You
the
literally,
death
it's like,
list.
bro, if you're here, I'm just pulling out the casket now. It's like I don't know what's gonna happen, or maybe not the casket. If he's an egg, I'll put out like a bird's nest. I'll be like, I don't know, bro. You gotta go. You need to
Yeah,
die. Like
he's
it's
done.
it,
Like there's a lot of people who I think will be on that list, but Marco, unfortunately,
he's
he
literally
was already
like,
high on the list in Wano.
yeah,
You know?
yes, that's what I was saying. Like when I thought the way he was gonna die was when remember when he protected Nami and Tama? I was like,
Yeah.
okay, you're gonna die, and then Tama's gonna carry you around as an egg on her little dog friend, and that's what she's gonna do in the rest of the arc. She's gonna protect Marco. I was so convinced. I was like, all right, he's gonna die. Um,
Cool idea. Unfortunately,
yeah,
Oda had other
no, it was
plans.
just and then imagine if baby Marco or maybe not baby Marco, maybe be like a little kid or whatever. He's like the Straw Hats like cabin boy. That'd be crazy. That'd be insane. But, you know, it is what it
Man,
is.
yeah, he's cooked at the in the final war though for sure.
Oh, he's gone. He is gone.
And also, TJ, I love the idea you put in the chat. I remember that for my stream too. Polo had
Graham
crackers.
cracker. Oh,
Yeah,
that's kind
graham
of awesome.
cracker.
That's kind of
Yeah,
awesome.
I dig that. Like that fits
Yeah,
just that in general that works. I
because
like
Big
that a lot.
Mom would have killed him. That just makes sense. And then, oh my God. And then that makes the clash with Marco and Big Mom even more satisfying on the reread.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
nah.
maybe.
Now
Yeah,
I'm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
TJ, I can't believe you spoiled that for us. I can't believe you literally just spoiled. Marco's dad has the biscuit fruit. I can't believe that. Oh, that's actually so peak. That's actually
Yeah,
so peak. No,
the
that I
the
need to have.
whole the whole Pologram for the Marco Polo thing was absolutely top tier in
That's
my
so dumb.
opinion. That's
That's
like Oda was cooking with that.
it's so dumb, which is the best part. It's so
Exactly.
dumb. It's like, of course,
Exactly.
one of the coolest characters in your series is named Marco Polo. Of course he was. But what makes it satisfying is that Marco Polo's an actual explorer pirate guy. It makes it work and
Uh-huh.
not be lame. Like it's just
It's awesome.
you know the gif of Blackbeard writing? That's literally what I'm thinking
Yeah.
in my brain right now. It's just
Oh
like
yeah,
Blackbeard.
for
Uh,
sure. No, for sure.
it's so good.
That that like even when I was reacting to it, that was like my big highlight. I'm like, okay, look, everything else is so top tier, but I just got to be honest,
Marco
like that
Polo.
Polo Graham, like I just love the name too. Like Marco Polo's great, but even just the name Polo Graham, I'm like, you know what, man? That sounds like a rapper name. You know what I mean? Like a stage name. Like you
Mm.
you you could. I don't know, man. It just sounds great. I'm a huge fan of him. I also loved his introduction, just
I'm a big
like
fan of
telling.
you.
Yeah, he starts following him. Like I now I got to
Yeah.
know what happens with them, right? Like
Yeah, now
so.
I need to know. I need to know. What if there's like, you know how there's like the Mask Deuce book? What if there's like the Graham book for Whitebeard's crew? That would be
Oh
so
man.
good. That would be so good.
Yeah. So so I wonder though, like assuming that Marco really is just Graham's son and he's already 7 by now, it's
Marco's
like
on God
would
Valley, which is
well
crazy, but where?
are we sure about that?
He could be on the ship uh, for
Well,
the evacuation.
well, because it says he's the captain of the Polo
Oh yeah, he's a
Pirates, so
pirate. So he probably came in
yeah,
with Rox's crew and the subordinate captains. He probably was like, "I'm not even here for Rox. I'm here to see Whitebeard because Whitebeard's cool." Um, that'd be fun.
yeah. I mean, yeah, or yeah, I don't know exactly. Yeah, because remember how like Jenny put the word out about all the fruits.
Oh yeah.
Wait, wait. This could be a really cool connection. So that probably brought a lot of pirates there. So he might just be a random pirate group. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That heard about it. And then what if he did nab one of the fruits and it's Marco's fruit, and so he
mhm.
gives it to his son? Right. That's the idea here. So like he heard about the fruits and was like, oh yeah, I bet you that Phoenix one I've been looking for is there. And so
Mm.
he has it right now. So like because I remember how I said earlier, I bet you later we're gonna see that every person is gonna like open their treasure chest and like every group will have a fruit or shanks.
Mhm.
Well, like because you can even see with like like every group is like getting ready to leave, right? And so like Big Mom's group, like you see Strusen, I bet you he has a chest with a fruit in it. Like he has a bag. Yep, he's carrying
Oh
something.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Now
they're gonna get a fruit.
you're
Polo and
convincing me
Whitebeard are
now
gonna have
about
one.
the
Stussy has a bag. Gil Baster has a bag. He might have just got that fruit, honestly, there. I don't know. But
Gil Baster. He probably just ate. Yeah, he probably ate it immediately. I wouldn't doubt that for
maybe
a second. I I also like that Gil Baster's ghosts look different than Perona's ghosts. That's really satisfying to me. No idea why. It's probably a cute reference to the Wanted book, but I think it's fun if the ghosts are different for each user. I think that would just be cool, you know?
what if do we know what Gil Baster's hair really looks like underneath the hat?
No. maybe
Well,
it's
I
like,
bet you his head looks like that.
yeah, probably. Just
That's got
something
to be it.
stupid. Something stupid in One Piece, like for the fun. He's just like a super
Yep.
cartoonish fella.
Oh yeah.
Um,
No, that's happening.
I was
So
thinking of no, but you've convinced me now that we're not gonna see Harold and Loki next chapter. You've now convinced me. Like just
yeah,
seeing them all open the chests is gonna be like the thing of the next chapter. I feel that.
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
that.
Rocks will say his goodbyes and then it'll be like, and in the aftermath of God Valley, everyone found a suspicious fruit or suspicious piece of treasure that they
Mm.
took with them, and then we'll spend the whole chapter with the fruits. I can see it right now.
It would be
Um,
like the Yonko bounty reveal chapter. It's just like, all right,
yes,
now we see all this stuff fall into place as well. Because I don't know how many are still available. Because Kaido ate his fruit, so that's one of them for sure. That's got to be one of the prize fruits. And then
yes. So there's seven
Kuma,
fruits we don't know.
because Kuma, Kaido, and well, I guess we don't know about Gilbaster. He could have had the fruit earlier, but
Right.
I'm gonna assume. Let's just assume he had it earlier, because
Yeah,
then,
it'd be more fun that way.
yeah, it allows for more speculation. Um, so Kaido and Kuma, and is that it?
That's it. We all
Okay,
yeah, there's seven missing fruits.
and then Shanks,
So
because there were 10 chests.
yeah, so there's eight parties that we're trying to account for that probably got a fruit. So Kaido got one, so like we're not going to count him because he ate one,
Yeah,
right?
we know.
But I think we can safely say Big Mom did end up with one. Like
Yeah.
maybe it is the mochi fruit, right? I could see
Mm.
that.
It would be fitting because
So-
she's like, I'm gonna give this dragon fruit to Katakuri, and then the fruit she ends up getting does go to Katakuri. So yeah, I could easily see
well,
that.
he's already supposed to have the fruit by now, I think, though, right?
Oh,
But
okay.
but Oda already kind of has to retcon that because she said like, oh, that fruit would be perfect for Katakuri, but he already is supposed to have his fruit.
Mm.
So there's an issue there no matter what. So either way, I'm gonna start like taking notes on this. So Big Mom is probably one of the parties for sure.
Mm.
I think the candy fruit could also maybe be
Oh,
one
for
that
Paris
she,
Sparrow.
yeah. Um, or maybe
You know what? You know what? All right. Let's be realistic here right now, though. Would the world government put the candy fruit as like a grand prize fruit? You know what? You know what fruit I think they would? The genie fruit. I think the genie fruit would 100% be
but
like a top grand prize thing.
yeah, but what does that really do for them, right? Like whenever I think of them wanting the fruits, like food related fruits, they're
No, but
gluttonous.
Daifuku has the genie fruit. That's what I mean. Like how would he get the genie fruit if not here? Like
Well,
why would she want, maybe she would want a dragon fruit cuz it's a pun. The dragon fruit. It's like a real fruit. Maybe that's why. And it's a food cuz it's the dragon fruit. But I don't know. I feel like the genie fruit is like one of the big anomalies in Big Mom's crew. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
magical, but
what I'm saying is just that I don't know if like for God Valley, I don't know if the celestial dragons would really care about it. You know what I'm
the
saying?
genie fruits?
Yeah, because all you just rub your stomach and a genie pops out to fight for you. It's like it's not like you're getting wishes, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. But
Like
maybe,
candy's almost better in that regard.
yeah, because it's food. It is free food forever.
Well, I mean, Mont d'Ors is also good.
Hmm. I was thinking more about like the spectacle of the fruit, because like obviously the Paris Sparrow's like good at the candy fruit, so he knows how to make all the stuff. But I imagine if like someone who didn't know how to use it used it, it would just be like shooting out like candy out of your hands or something. You know what I mean? Like
W-
however it would
Well,
work.
remember the celestial dragons like give the fruits to their slaves,
True.
right?
True.
Like they don't want it for power. So like if you gave a slave a fruit that made, you know, food you liked, whether that's mochi or candy, then it's like, you get something out of it. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
really like candy, it's like, slave, make me this today. So I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
But all right, so Big Mom either way though, regardless of which fruit it is, I did list all the ones we talked about just to have a list, but so now okay, so Whitebeard, I think he's definitely one. I think Phoenix fruit is like a lock, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
I'm not even gonna entertain. I mean, we can, but I don't. I think we're
What else? What else
it's
would there
locked.
be with Marco's dad being there? I mean, it's. I feel like that's inevitable. You know,
Yeah. I mean, what other notable fruits does his crew even have, really? Like
the
the
diamond
diamond
one, but
fruit,
like
which
Josie's
I
not even in his crew. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, he would have to hold it for a long ass time. So let's just say Phoenix fruit.
yeah,
That's the coolest answer anyway. Um so we need 8 people, right? So well I'll put Roger with Shanks. I mean, we know that one, but
yeah.
he could, and none of his crewmates ever had a devil fruit, so we really need 7. So we have 2. So we need 5 more parties is what we're looking for here. Um, so we have Gonzui,
But he has a
Gilbaster.
fruit.
It's
Gonzui we know
right.
has a fruit, and we'll say Gilbastard doesn't. Well, he does. Let's say he does. So we just can't write it off
So
immediately.
so so let's say Stussy and Gilbaster for sure, right?
I could see
And
Stussy getting a fruit for sure. I definitely
uh,
can see that.
the bat fruit,
Yeah.
the one
For
like,
the
and maybe she
clone,
just passed it
maybe?
on to the clone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like well, she might have just eaten it and it passed on.
Oh,
You know what I
even.
mean?
Yeah.
Then Gilbaster. I mean, we can put the what is it? The ghost? Is it called the ghost fruit? The Horo Horo no
The
Mi.
Horo Horo, yep.
Um, we'll say that one, but let's say he. But let's also talk about if he already has that fruit. Then, um, I mean, we're just taking a stab here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even.
Do we think
Well, he
Shiki
ends
took
up
one?
dying, so uh, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Have we seen Shiki use his fruit at all in the series? Or did they not say he had a fruit?
He's been he has the we know he has the float fruit already. If that's what
Okay.
you're asking, yeah, he was flying away a couple chapters ago,
Okay, so he has the
maybe even
fruit.
this chapter. Yeah, he's already eaten the float fruit. Yeah,
Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Do we think Silver Axe took one?
I think that's likely. Let's see how many people. I put Captain John Silveract. So 1, 2, 3. This would be the complete set right now. If we had Shiki, Captain John, Silverax, Gilbaster, Stussy, Whitebeard, Big Mom.
We have Gloriosa too, but she's with
She
Roger's
never,
crew.
you know, sh yeah. So she also like never had a fruit, and we know that Boa got hers from the Celestial Dragons.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't. So she didn't take one. I don't think.
Yeah, and when she's running with Roger's crew, she's seemingly empty-handed.
Yep, she didn't get one. She wasn't even serious about that stuff anyway. She didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that might be it, right? And so Dragon also, we don't see him with anything, but he was one that I think everybody thought he was getting the wind fruit here, you know.
Yeah.
Um
That was very strange. There was just a very loud music from outside, just randomly for like 3 seconds.
Someone was driving by.
Yeah, it sounded like the drums liberation. Honestly, it was kind of crazy.
So Stussy, we'll say the bat fruit, Gilbaster, I mean he may have just eaten the Horo no Mi, but I mean what he doesn't he have multiple arms when he's a zombie or like and
Mm-hmm.
even earlier
He
in
has four
this.
arms.
I mean, if he has, I was gonna say like Robin's fruit, but if he has the Horo no Mi, then
Yeah, but in this one here, he has 2 arms.
right. That's what I'm
Image out
confused
here.
about. He doesn't seem to be a 4-armed person, but he gains 2 later, and so I don't know how that works.
Maybe Moria stitched them on, but I doubt that. It probably is some ability of some kind.
Did he have one? before, or did he have the arm? Didn't he have the arms like jumping into God Valley in 1096?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he has forearms. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, well, as for the fruit he would have gotten, I have no idea. Um, Shiki, I don't know what fruit Shiki would have gotten.
Yeah, because some of the panels he has two arms in just this flashback
Right,
alone.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it looks like he's back there in 1096 to the left with four arms. But he only has two in other parts of this flashback.
Yeah, in 1161 he's got four arms, but in some of them he only has two arms.
I don't know if that's just
Hmm.
Oda inconsistency, like he forgot, or if he can grow the arms willingly. You know what I mean?
Hmm. That would be
I
interesting.
mean, yeah, unless maybe the version that we're seeing of him is not the real Gilbaster. Because remember how Perona could send out a ghost?
Hmm. Ghost arms, TJ said in the chat. Ghost arms. Like maybe that's honestly not impossible. The idea is probably a joke, but it doesn't sound impossible. Um, yeah, it could just be a fake of him as well. Hmm. Oh, the drums are coming back. I hear them on their way.
They're coming for you, Kev.
They are.
Um, yeah, I wonder what these fruits are gonna be, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. There's a lot of possibilities with this stuff. It's crazy. And I do. Well, we do have a whole week to cook on this, though. Well, really 2 weeks. So that's very satisfying as well. You know what, Oda, this has been phenomenal. This has been phenomenal right here. This streak of chapters. It's like
Yeah.
fan fiction in the best way. And
Yep.
I say I
That
say I say that so many times now whenever I do reactions. It's like fan fiction. And it's been literally
you're not
4
wrong.
months since we've seen the main characters, so it's basically another story, you know?
Yep.
I
And
can't
we're
wait to
loving
see
it.
Luffy again.
You know.
I can't wait to see Monkey D. Luffy.
I mean,
I'll be sad when it's
like,
over, but I'll be happy to see him
right.
again.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like I do want to see him and stuff, but that would automatically imply that the flashback's over. So I don't
Yeah.
really want that to happen. So I will just let Oda do whatever he wants. You know,
Hmm.
I'll be happy with whatever outcome.
I'm still on team Elbaf till 2027. We'll be here. I will
Oh,
be seeded.
uh,
I will be
I,
seeded.
I'm gonna be honest, Kev. You might have to push that up a year at this point.
2028 or
I mean, well,
2026?
think about it. We're almost at the end of 2025. We're getting like 33 chapters a year. So like, do you think we're guaranteed to be out of Elbaf in 70 chapters? We'll say.
I don't know.
I can't
I
say I'm
don't
super
know.
confident.
I don't know.
Like because that would mean that Elbaf is like 110 total chapters or something like that because we're like 30 something into it already or
Hmm.
like or yeah 30 yeah 29 or 30 no 30 something whatever. Yeah, we're like at 110 then if we were to end right at the end of 2027 and I mean LBAF is probably going to be longer than that. 2028 we might be talking.
But then the final war, when's that gonna end? 2030 something? 2033? Like, bro,
Yeah, man.
that's
Yeah, man.
crazy. That's crazy.
Look, I think I was thinking about this recently.
Uh huh.
Uh So some, the difference between like One Piece as an IP and like Pokemon and a lot of these other things is like Pokemon is like timeless, right? Like
Hmm.
just like the story, there's not like an ongoing story that's driving it as an underlying thing. I mean, there are, there's the
There are
anime, there's movies and
stories.
whatever, but
Yeah,
there's a million ways to interact with it where you could be completely oblivious to the story but still love the whole thing and spend a lot of money on it, right?
exactly.
But One Piece, if the story's over, is that really gonna carry the same? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it might have a huge drop off because it's like, like, what if the ending doesn't hit as hard or just whatever? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot more so I think Oda is aware of that, and he's like, I am gonna go as long as I possibly can because once it's over, I don't know what it's gonna be like, you know.
Mm.
Um, but
I think I definitely understand what you're saying. I definitely do. But there have still been stories like, mm, don't even think I could fully say that. I was gonna say like Naruto, but then there's Boruto, so that can't
right,
even.
Dragon Ball has just continued,
Dragon
right? Like that,
Ball.
that
Yeah, that's
they
what I
make
was gonna
those,
say. Yeah.
yeah, those stories make sequels. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I don't know if One Piece is the type of story that really wants a sequel. Um,
It
now
would
if
be too
like,
much. It would be too much if they ever did a sequel. They could do a prequel, which I could easily imagine,
right,
about
yes,
any of
same,
these characters that we're talking about right now. Literally any of the ones that are
yes,
like a Whitebeard with polo thing, or Rocks again, or Roger again. Um,
yep,
like
yeah,
no
yeah, yeah,
one would be
100%.
against seeing this.
I agree,
But a
but I
sequel
think,
might be too much. That might be like too much.
uh-huh. I agree. But I also think One Piece has done a really good job of like with like the TCG. They've done a bad job with video games for sure, but like with the live action also, I think they've found ways to try to make themselves more like timeless or widely appealing so they last longer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're doing it at the right time, but I
And they're
still think
remaking the anime too.
yeah, but I still think they're at a little bit of a disadvantage long term. Where like if Oda were to end the series, there would be a precipitous drop off in like their income and stuff. So like if Oda wants to milk it or Shueisha, like it's like to their benefit to tell Oda like,
Take as
hey, if
long
there's
as you
only a
need.
hundred. Yeah, like hey, if there's only 100 chapters left, go ahead and do like a chapter every 2 weeks, just so we can milk. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
so. I don't think Oda's trying to rush in any way, shape, or form. Like, and I think he has enough of like his editors clued in on the ending and stuff. Where like, obviously we would never want this to happen, but if anything did happen to Oda and he like couldn't actually finish it, I feel like the setup is there to where like somebody could reasonably do it. But as long as he's healthy, I don't think he's gonna rush at all. So hopefully, it never comes to that. And um, and I think the fact that he is going so slow is a sign that he is pretty healthy. You know what I mean? Barring a few things here or there, but
Hmm. I definitely agree. I feel like Oda is definitely taking his time, not because he's like lazy at all. You know, obviously he's not. He's been doing this for 30 years almost. Um, but he's obviously putting a lot of effort into it, and I'm gonna be so for real. I definitely think that the editors are not the editor, the publisher is like take as long as you need because I agree with you on
yeah,
that for sure. Like when One Piece stops being in Shonen Jump, I genuinely am like, is this thing even gonna like what is gonna happen? You know, because it's like that's been
hmm,
their darling for what almost 30 years. They know it's gonna make money. If they lose that investment immediately, they're like, oh, what's gonna happen? We don't know.
yep, yep, and that's why you see One Piece on the front of like every Shonen Jump. I feel like, or a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them. Um, so yeah, they are definitely gonna milk this to the maximum.
I imagine
which I understand.
I imagine it was a kind of similar situation when Dragon Ball stopped being published. And then the big three happened, and that saved the publication. You know, it's like, oh, we have three massive series all at the same time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Now, I not trying to like cause some rage bait or whatever, but I would imagine at the time they obviously did not have the impact that Dragon Ball had. Like even all three together, I would imagine they did not have the impact that Dragon Ball had. Like this isn't even meant to be
Mm-hmm.
rage bait. I'm just being, I would imagine. But I would say like One Piece at this point is definitely on that level of Dragon Ball, if not surpassed it with it
Mm-hmm.
being significantly longer lasting of a story. So having that disappear feels like a much deeper gap to try and fill or replace or cover up or anything. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with you there. They're going to try and
Yeah.
keep it going as long as possible. But again, I still hope it's not like, because the pacing isn't bad, I would say, especially in like all these chapters we're getting. I don't think the pacing's been bad. There
Not
were
at
some
all.
parts in like earlier in Elbaf where it was like, okay, kind of, you know, and I think a lot of people in our community kind of thought like, okay, where is this going? What's happening? You know, I remember that being a pretty
Uh-huh.
common sentiment. But at this point, it's like, oh, we're all gas, no brakes now. Like this is awesome.
For sure.
And the fact that this right here, this flashback is so good. And the second we go back to the present time, Emu is there. Like that's crazy to think about in
Mm-hmm.
in you
It,
know, outside of the narrative right now.
and when we think about like the length of the story that's still left, it's funny to like look at this flashback, which is what, like 14 chapters now or something like that. And this isn't even involving, like the Void Century or whatever. It's
Yeah,
like whenever we get to the Joy Boy Void Century flashback, bro, we're gonna be in that for a year. You know what I mean?
probably.
Like
Probably.
like that alone is a massive chunk of the remaining story. Like the Roger flashback took forever. The Rocks flashback slash Loki slash Harold's taken forever. Bro, when we get to Joy Boy and Davy Jones and Emu and the 20 Kings and the Earth God and all
Yeah.
this, like, come on, man. Like,
I
that's gonna be
kind
30
of
chapters.
kind of crazy segue, but you mentioned the Earth God, so I want to bring up Roger saying the Fire God. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That was a unexpected thing. I thought, okay, is that gonna be like the Fire God on Wano that they were talking about, or is that gonna be like the Skypiea Fire God that they were talking about? It could be both. Could literally be the same person. We have no idea. But that was crazy. And then the fact that it wasn't just God of Fire, which alone that would have been crazy, but it was God of Fire Ace. Like,
Uh-huh. I mean,
bro,
yeah, it would peak
that was peak.
overall peak. I mean,
Uh,
it's like it's interesting because it's like it's more so his sword, right? Because he's attacking with Ace in that
yeah,
moment. But
yeah,
obviously, like Oda wants us to draw that connection to Ace because the person Ace ended up getting the flame fruit, right?
exactly.
So it's
Yeah,
like, so it's just that double entendre to me is insane. So yeah, that was awesome. I don't really know what to make of it as far as like the God of Fire thing. Like I don't know if that's like really like a One Piece god we need to be worried about, or if
hmm,
that's just Oda trying to hype him up. You know what I mean? But I was personally an even bigger fan of the Infinitum explosion. I don't know
oh,
what the
dude,
official called it, but
that's what
the
it said.
Garp attack.
That's what it said.
Okay, yeah, the Gatling,
Yeah, the
like
Gatling, and it also is like I'm just seeing it now. The fists are like flaming fists, which is kind
yes,
of like the
I
Red
was.
Hawk. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes, I
awesome.
was just about to say that they're both doing a fire thing.
Yeah,
If you know what I'm saying. So I love that, dude. The Garp attack was insane.
yeah,
Like I don't know. I mean the Roger one was cool just for the ace thing, but like aesthetically, it's just like a sword slash. But Garp with the
The flaming
Gatling.
fists.
Sign me up. The
And
flaming Gatling with the
oh,
hockey.
okay. So I know this is gonna sound like some stupid crap, but I want it so bad now. So we now see that Garp can use like a flaming fist attack, right? A
Yep.
flaming fist attack. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, Sabo's gonna fight a Kainu, right? Sabo's gonna fight him." What
Uh
if,
huh.
what if Garp fights him? That would be crazy because we got
He,
he'll probably die, which I hate.
yeah, he'd probably
He'd
die.
probably
Yeah,
die,
he'd
but
probably have.
it would be so awesome.
And he would lose to both Kuzan and
Yeah,
Akainu. That'd be
that would be tragic. That would generally be tragic. I just wanted to see Garp's fire beat Akainu's magma. So we get the full
yeah.
circle of it. But that'll probably be saved for Sabo, and then Sabo fans can be happy. But why can't the Garp fans be happy? Why can't Garp get his revenge? Why can't Garp was there, man? Garp was there. Sabo, you know what Sabo was doing? Reading the newspaper. That's what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
So Oda's just cooking, man.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think after 2 hours plus of discussion, I think this might actually be a 10 out of 10 chapter. I don't know about you, but I
Oh,
personally
I
think
agree.
it might be. I think it might be.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, and also like everything we talked about like was obvious was great, but one thing that I really appreciated that was like kind of like a little like overlay kind of thing that he did was like the narrator boxes throughout that were
mhm.
like the records kept by G11 and CP6 concerning the top secret level S special mission are sparse. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I love this little narrative thing. And then obviously, like, Emu telling Saturn, like, it doesn't exist or whatever. It's like, I don't know. I just loved that, like, the way it's kind of wrapping up
Hmm.
bit. And then at the very end, what did it say? Hold on. There was let me see. It was
I can
like
read what it says here if you want.
the little text at the very end, at least on TCB, like not in the Oda boxes, but like the little editor's note thingy at the very end,
Okay.
is that a legendary incident uncovered? Like I like that because it kind of reminded me like us readers are seeing something that
The
barely
world
anybody
doesn't
knows.
know. Yeah.
Right.
It's
Like
like it's like
nobody
when
knows this.
it's like in Vegapunk's flashback, not flashback, Vegapunk's speech when the world discovered that his name is Goldie Roger. That was crazy to see. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
they don't know. Like we are so lucky as like the dramatic irony prone reader. Like we know all these different aspects of all these different things that when Oda finally gets that, payoff of okay, now they know. It's like, whoa. That the reveal is for
Hmm.
them, not us. And I think he does this so often because when we eventually find out what the One Piece is, it will be a both in universe and in reality reveal. It'll be for both parties a reveal of what the One Piece is. And I think
Right.
that's what's going to make it feel so satisfying because we've been so, privy to all the stuff we shouldn't know if we were in this world, but now it'll be like a mutual thing. I just think that's
Yep.
very cool.
Yep. No, I agree, man. Oda, uh, the way Oda just sets it up and like makes it feel like you're there. You know what I mean? He really drums it up to like make you feel like so you understand how important everything you're seeing is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I can't wait for the Void Century to get into that and just I don't know, man. I'm pumped to see Joy Boy's story, but I'm almost more pumped to see Emu's story.
I
Like
mean, Joy Boy's obviously like the hero character, but Emu is the alive villain character. Like how with Joy Boy, he's probably just a dude. To be fair, he's probably just a guy. And that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm not saying like that in a dismissive way, but Emu has been alive for like 900 years and like all this crazy, completely unrealistic stuff. And it just makes us wonder like, how in the world did they do all of this? You know, like it's like we need to know what's at the top because Joy Boy's just the guy who failed to stop what Emu became, you know? So finding out how Emu became this way, like that is going to be so insane, you know? It's going to be just so crazy.
Yep. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Well, Dak, I am going to end the stream in just a second because
Okay.
it has been quite a while and we've been cooking for 2 hours. And I appreciate you for talking for 2 hours about this amazing chapter, like genuinely. I barely, sometimes I feel this way as a Sunday reader. I don't really get to talk to people as much about One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
So I truly like I hope you don't think I'm like cutting it off, but I truly
Oh,
really appreciate it. I hope you know this because obviously we talk One Piece often, but I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
yep. Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, no. I always look forward to knowing whenever you get caught up so I can, spin some
Actually,
ideas off you. But sometimes, you just do it so late and I'm just like, we'll wait till a break week happens and
hmm.
that was now, even though it's
And
still
now,
Sunday, but
yeah, we have a
um
break weekend coming. Awesome.
but yes, we do. And that I'm doing lots of videos this week, or I'm trying to at least, because there's just like so much to say. One big thing that I'm taking away from all this that we've recently seen is like the Kobe and Luffy team up versus Demon Blackbeard is like
Oh,
so guaranteed.
dude.
Like that is so locked in now that we've seen all this. Like I literally, like I have no doubt in my mind.
I
So
loved
yeah.
the way that Roger asked Garp to just join his crew. I love that so much. That was so amazing. That is fan fiction. That to me was like the ultimate fan fiction thing I think I've
Mm-hmm.
ever seen in this series. Roger telling
Super
Garp,
dope.
join my crew. I couldn't believe it. I genuinely could not believe it. But Kobe,
It's great.
Luffy wanted Kobe to join his crew until he knew Kobe wanted to do something different. And then he helped him do that. So that's a cool inversion too. Would Luffy ever ask Kobe to join his crew? Ever? I don't know. Um,
In a moment like this, I think he will, and I think
yeah,
Kobe will say the exact same thing as
he
Garp.
will. He will. It'll be peak.
Yep.
It'll be so good.
Mm-hmm. And
Uh,
yep, it'll be dope. It might be like a little bit different, like because what did Garp say in the official? Because on TCB he said,
um,
"Hell no! If I quit, who would protect the Marines?"
um, he said, "Don't be an idiot. If I quit, who's going to watch out for the rank and file?" And I was like, that word is so familiar to me, and that's like an actual military term, the
Mm-hmm.
rank and file,
Right.
and it essentially is the normal people in a
Right.
military thing, not like the top
Right.
dog people. And I'm like, that's so
Yeah.
real because that's been his role in the whole story. He's like the gatekeeper of like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm right here, so I'm not up with those, people who are manipulated all the time and don't care about the little people. And so I get to talk to like the younger generation. It's like that is literally exactly what he's been doing the whole time. So,
Yeah, you know what? I could see Kobe instead say, "Hell no! If I quit, then who would protect like the common person?"
mhm.
Like instead of saying the Marine, like the same thing Garp is saying, but not with the Marine layer. It's like just
Just for
anybody at the
normal
bottom,
people.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which honestly can include the Marines, right? I don't think there's
Yeah.
like a delineation necessarily. It's just he's just gonna back up and be like, no, like everybody. Like I don't want to leave any common person behind,
And then
So
oh, and then imagine this. We cut to a panel of Moda the milkmaid in the final war. That's the common person that he's looking out for.
let's
The
go.
ultimate
Let's
common
go.
person character in this story.
we had to bring Moda
It
in
all comes back
before
to
the
her.
stream
It all
ended.
comes. I mean, think about it. Blackbeard, well, at least Eris, maybe from Lucia. We don't know. We don't know. There's something cooking
Yeah,
there.
uh, I can definitely see some Lelucia stuff on the horizon for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm-hmm. And so Moda's gonna be important. It's all. It all comes back to her. You know, no one sees the vision for her character like me. You know, no one sees the vision. Um, but yeah,
You're
as
right.
I as I as I said earlier, Dak, thank you once again for talking.
Hmm.
We chopped it up. You know,
We did.
call us attacked by Buggy because we got chopped up. Um, oh god, I'm so
Clever,
yeah. Uh, uh,
clever.
I'm actually wearing a Buggy shirt right now. Wearing a Buggy
There you
shirt.
go.
It's pretty tight.
Dope. Very dope.
Um, but regardless, it is a break week, so unfortunately, there's no peak next week. Unfortunately, but regardless, that was a phenomenal chapter. Dak, thank you once again for joining me on my rambly discussion slash reaction slash actual conversation with yourself. Uh, if
For
you
sure.
do not know Mr. Sake, one, you should. Yeah, it's Mr. Silver Plaque Dak right here now. It's Mr. Silver Plaque Dak. You got to know. But I'm expecting a banger video from you. In the
I,
meantime,
it,
I'm expecting a
oh
banger.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's pretty solid. We got one on the soul coming. The mass
Okay,
and the soul
that's what
definitely
I'm
first.
excited for. I'm
And
excited for that.
yeah, then Kobe and Luffy for sure, and then probably Eris and Blackbeard. There's so much to talk about, man.
Hmm.
It's kind of crazy.
There's so many layers to this chapter and this flashback.
Yeah.
I'm shocked you're not
Y-
making the best flashback in One Piece, like one of those kind of like, because
It,
well, technically the
it
flashback's not over, but like this section might
exactly.
be, you know.
Yeah, I would like to do a video eventually, just sort of like analytically breaking down like all the ways that the God Valley incident impacted the world, kind of like the
Hmm.
echoes, the reverberations, like this chapter talked about,
Yeah,
But might as well wait till it's over.
yeah. That's what I said for the Buggy Bash, but it's been a while since that flashback started. So
Yeah,
I guess we'll never know. Buggy might show up. He still might. He still might show up. Maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
we will.
But with that, viewers, hello. I want to thank you guys for listening to our rambly conversation slash my reaction. I appreciate it immensely. We will be seeing you probably in the meantime. I don't know, Dak. Do you have an approximate on the stream, or do you think it'll be next
I
month or this month? Do you think?
I would guess this month. I would
Okay.
hope that the plaque wouldn't take that long, but
Okay.
I don't actually know. They did give me a tracking number. I haven't really looked at it, but I haven't gotten any email updates, which I'm also supposed to get. So I don't
Oh,
know,
so it's
but
on
hopefully
its way.
this
It's
month.
actually on its way. Like,
I did order it. I just
okay.
don't know if it's created or shipped. You know what I mean? But
Okay. Well, we will be talking whether it's One Piece or as many collaborative streams go, not One Piece on your stream for your 100K later. But I appreciate you guys for listening in. Thank you for watching. Take care and have a good one.